Listen to it. Listen to the California intro. The intros just keep going and going and going, don't they? Josh is a genius. You've got the New York intro. You've got the California intro coming up soon. The Texas intro. The Vegas intro. Ah, Josh is a genius. Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. I'm live and I'm early, and it's late or early. It might actually be a normal time where you are. It is certainly on the West Coast because that's where this game is. It's in San Diego, California. We're over here in the UK. We're going to be going through the game here in the Asylum. The Asylum is back. We've got an undefeated record. We've got a perfect record so far. 3 victories, all clean sheets as well. But today it's a little bit different because we've got the kids out. We've got the Academy's graduates out playing against Wrexham at the Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego, California. But before we get into any of that, we've got to pause for the cause, and we've got to get into some very big shout outs. First, let's start off with Prime Planet, because this video is brought to you by Prime Planet. They are the best in class for all your travel, entertainment, and hospitality needs around the world. So whenever you see Flex, KG, and Josh jet setting around the globe, be it in the USA, Australia, Thailand, Spain, and beyond, Prime Planet gets us there as UV's travel partner. Click the link in the video description below and get all your travel, entertainment, and hospitality needs covered. Yes, particularly if it's last minute or you've got to get a flight, you're in a jam, Prime Planet can sort that out. But it's not just Prime Planet that we're shouting out today as well. We're also shouting out Crack Soli. Take a look at this.
This video is brought to you by Cracks Only. Check out the link in the video description below to get to their website and check out their latest products. Trust me, you do not want to miss them.
You do not want to miss them indeed. How good, by the way, did Flex and KG look? As Flex said, this video is also brought to you by Crack Soli. Make sure you click the link in the video description to check out their latest catalog of streetwear. They're currently doing big things in Los Angeles, California. Of course, California, the state that the game is, with many MLS stars actually wearing their product. So if you want to dress like the stars, you know what to do. Check them out in the video description. You will not regret it. And indeed, I'm back. We're back for another match view here in the Asylum. Hope everyone is doing very well. Be sure to click the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Do you want some team news? I can give you some team news as well. The team news has just come out about half an hour ago or something like that. And as expected, it's a highly youthful lineup, apart from Johnny Evans as well. Now, the team news is as follows. You can see it on the screen right there on the graphics, which I can continue to move. We've got Nathan Bishop in goal. Alvaro Fernandez is once again at left back, a back-to-2 combination, centre-back combination of Will Fish and Johnny Evans, with Mark Jurado playing at right back. Midfield of Dan Gore. I've come prepared for the Gore stuff later on. We'll park that to one side. But Gore in midfield, along with Toby Collier. You've got Hannibal just in front of them, possibly in a 10. It might be a 4-2-3-1. It might be a 4-3-3. We'll have to wait and see how the team does look. We've got Isaac Hansen-Aaron and Shola Shora-Terry on the wings, and then Joe Hugel up front. In terms of the bench, you've got Harrison, me, Vitek, Alu Joffrey, Kamambala, Pai, Oyedeli, McNeil, and Maija as well. So very much, again, very experimental, very much a youth lineup. If you're wondering why are the kids playing, why are the Academy players playing, it's because we've got a game tomorrow. We're doing this again tomorrow as well. Thankfully, not this late. Well, the game will probably just be finishing around this late. But the point being is, tomorrow's game in Houston, which is Real Madrid versus Manchester United. What a big game that is as well. Really looking forward to that. Really excited about it. That kickoff's at 1:30 as opposed to the 3:30 today. So we're just about, 27 minutes away from kickoff. So that is the team news. How's everybody doing, though? How's everybody doing? Have you got your coffee ready? I do. There you go. That's hotter than I thought. I literally just got it out of the kettle, and I'm one of these people that if I get a hot drink out the kettle, I can't touch it for like 20 minutes. I like to have my sort of hot beverages sort of warm. I can't have them sort of scalding hot or boiling. It's too much. And I take my coffee black as well, so I have to just leave it for ages. Hope everyone's got their sleep in as well if they're from the UK. If not, this might be just easy. I mean, we're living the experience. I always say this when it comes to global fans. I think so much is made about, and I think I see, I can speak from experience here. When you're on like, YouTube or you're in content creation and you don't have a Mancunian accent, people go, oh, look at the southern accent, or look at the Mancunian accents, all that kind of stuff. And I go, wait a minute, your geographic location does not mean you're any less of a Manchester United fan. And I say, look at people in the United States, look at people in Australia or New Zealand or across Asia that get up at silly hours, silly time o'clock to watch games every single week. This is just a couple of games across, a 2-week period, let alone every single week, every single season. That is dedication beyond belief, particularly in the last decade or so when we've been rubbish as well. That's another level of dedication. So we're just experiencing what they experienced too. And as I've said, I've been prepared for this for over 2 decades when it comes to watching the pro wrestling, because this is what we'd be entering in the 3rd hour of Monday Night Raw. If this was Monday, which it was yesterday. I was doing that yesterday when I was doing the press conference stream, actually. So it's par for the course. I've got a super chat already from Christian. Says, where are Flex and KG located in the stadium? Good question. I don't know. They are there at Snapdragon Stadium in California. I really struggle saying that. Snapdragon Stadium in California. We'll get to a clip from that. We've actually got a bit of a clip from the preview that was filmed as they crashed the Snapdragon Stadium. As far as specifically where they're located, I don't know. If you are hoping to bump into them or hoping to see them or find them, go check out their socials or our socials at United View TV on Instagram. Is probably the best place to find it in terms of real time, because there'll probably be an Instagram story. If not on our socials, it might be on one of their personal socials. So at FlexUTD is Flex's Instagram, or KG is at KG That Comedian. As far as that, I'm not too sure. There's a bit of a gap in terms of geographic location and time difference between me and them. But if you can find them, be sure to say hello. They'll be more than happy to have a chat. Avi says, Owen, please don't tell me you're up for the 9 a.m. live tomorrow. No, I can confirm there is no 9 a.m. live tomorrow or today, because by the time the game ends, we're probably looking at the game finishing, about quarter past 5 our time here in the UK, and by the time everything gets uploaded in terms of reactions, fan views, interviews, etc., it's be closer to 9, so there isn't going to be any 9 a.m. show. There will be a transfer view show tomorrow at some point. There will get some transfer reaction, because there have been a couple of bits of updates regarding Rasmus Højlund and Sofian Amrabat, so there will be a transfer view tomorrow, so you don't even have to worry about that. But there isn't going to be a 9 a.m. or anything like that. That would be, even for me, that would be crazy. Love says, get some beauty sleep after this, Owen. You deserve it, mate. Well, like I said, I got my nap in earlier today. I had 2 naps. But I'm one of those people too. If I know I have to be up for a certain time, I can't really sleep. Like, my body just goes into I've got to make sure I don't oversleep. I've got to make sure I set a million alarms and I wake up before them anyway. It's a curse. It really, truly is. By the way, as you can see, top right-hand corner, we are only 20 subscribers away. Yes, 20 subscribers away from 148,000. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Click the notification bells, because obviously with the time zones, with the differences in geographic locations, videos are going up at all sorts of times at the moment. So the best way to keep abreast of everything that's going on is to click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. You won't miss a single thing. Lots of new subscribers over the last week or so, really enjoying the pre-season content. So if you're enjoying it, there's plenty more to come. Welcome, and stay tuned, because again, some really exciting stuff planned as well. K-Flow says, at the game, glad to see the kids get a run out. Yes, big up. Let me know if you're at the game, because this was similar the other day actually at MetLife Stadium for the game against Arsenal. There are a lot of people in the chat that were saying, I'm at the game, I'm really enjoying the atmosphere. Not the Arsenal fans, they're fighting amongst themselves, but yeah, I'm really interested for this one. I think it's going to be a really competitive game. Again, you've got, if this was Manchester United's first team versus Wrexham, it would be a whitewash. We'd beat them 7 or 8-0. It wouldn't be competitive at all. What you've now got is you've got the academy players playing against a League 2 side, and a lot of these players, if they were to go out on loan now, they'd probably go to like a League 2 side, or maybe even some quality of them, maybe even less than that. So I think it's going to be really, really competitive. I think it's going to be quite close. I think you've got these academy players looking to make a name for themselves. These academy players hoping to stand out. even if it's to stand out for a move away from Manchester United or a loan move coming up this season. And also, just because it's the academy players, if Wrexham win, they're going to be celebrating that like crazy. And people won't care about the specifics of actually what happened. They'll just see Wrexham beat Man United, and people won't care that it's Man United's academy players. It will just be Wrexham beat United. So they've got standards to uphold, and again, I think it's going to be a really competitive and really interesting game. Really interesting with what happens with Johnny Evans. He had a bit of a run out against Leon, of course. You've got players in there that played games last season, not at United, obviously, but at their respective loan clubs. Alvaro Fernandez played over 40 games for Preston, was their Young Player of the Year. Probably going to go back out on loan again. Jurado's been linked with a move back to Barcelona. Dan Gore was excellent in the second half of the game against Leon. You had Shola was out on loan with Bolton last year. We know that Hannibal, of course, was really impressive actually in the first couple of games in pre-season in Edinburgh and Oslo. He was on loan last year at Birmingham. So there's quite some interesting stories involved in this as well. So again, I'm really interested to see how this one plays out, certainly. As you can see there, when it comes to the starting lineup too, Dan Gore is the captain. Now, people asked for this last time, so every single time he does something good in this game, I can press this. Gore! 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 Press it again, Owen. I literally about 5 minutes ago thought, I've got to do that. And he's the captain today as well. Good for him, certainly. I mean, it would have probably been easy, one would think, to have Johnny Evans wear the armband. But Dan Gore was really impressive in those, particularly the game against Leon. So I'm excited to see how he plays today. Of course, he got an assist for Johnny Evans, for Donny van der Beek's volley. So let's see how that one goes. Was that Leon or was that Leeds? No, it was Leon, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Leon at Edinburgh. Oh, last few days all blurring together. So yes, excited to see how he plays today. Excited to see Hannibal too. The expectation was that he was going to get a permanent move away from Manchester United this summer. As of right now, nothing's happened yet. He was linked to Borussia Dortmund at one point, but he's involved with the academy players today. You would think he's going to go out on loan, or at least permanently too. So interested to see how he plays, and there's a couple of interesting names on the bench as well. So let me know your score predictions. Let's go to Flex and KG. As I mentioned, they're in California. They're in San Diego. They've got a heck of a of a travel day. They've got obviously the game this evening, or this morning, however you want to look at it, and then they're flying straight to Texas for the game tomorrow. But before that, they did give us a tour around Snapdragon Stadium there in California, in San Diego. Here's a small clip, a small sample of what they found there.
It's insane. So let's take a closer look and see what the players see. So here we are, man, pitch side at the Snapdragon. This is the side that the players are going to be on, walking up to the bench, the home bench, Wrexham's bench.
Yep.
We got the kids here though, man.
It's the kids, man. And you know what? Like, I know some Man United fans feel a bit disappointed and stuff, but then again, Ten Hag was talking in his presser, talking about it going through the red line, going through the whole team in terms of style of play and being able, like, a clear passage to the first team. And I'm hoping that's what I'm looking for today. I'm sad for some of the fans that don't get to see, you know, like,
maybe not all of them do. Yeah,
you know what I mean? But then you never know. There's that thing about saying, in the guy that plays for Wrexham, he said you could see the next Rashford, you know, on this pitch, and it's like, well, we saw him here first. I got to see him, so you never know. Like, if there's a hidden gem in the team, we'll get to see him today, which will be pretty cool. What about you?
We will. I feel what I like most about this is the fact that,
let's take a Donny.
Nah, that's rude. That's rude. Big up Donny. Big up Donny. You know, this is rude for no reason.
I know, it's funny though.
I like the fact that Ten Hag has gone, I'm going to be present here. Because you know, in the presser, when I think one of the American journalists was saying to him, what's your plans, like how you, like, in terms of the logistics, how you going to do this thing? He's like, I know you're going to be in Houston. He's like, of course. But I need to be here to support the guys who run the under-23s team, as well, to help facilitate that. And for those young players to see the first team manager come and be part of that match day setup, although predominantly, of course, the manager's going to be picking those the young team who's had them, for them to be around Ten Hag and be present,
Yeah.
it's like something to look up to. And it shows them that he cares, and it shows the fans that he cares, and the whole really how he's trying to run the ship is like you said through, like if you think of Ajax, that progression through from the academy.
But the kid doing the kick-ups on the pitch.
Exactly, the little 8-year-olds doing the kick-ups when we were there. It shows that yes, commercially this is something that makes a lot of sense, obviously for Wrexham, and Ten Hag could have easily gone, that's you man's thing. Like I'm getting ready to play Real Madrid. Like but he's like, no, I'm gonna do this. Then I'm gonna jump on a flight straight away, get myself to Houston because that game's the next day. Like he's not shying away from the hard work. So yeah.
Now people like to say that I have the Donny van der agenda. That's what people like to point out. They go, Owen, Donny van der agenda. Every time you bring it up, did you hear what KG said? Did you hear what KG said there? They sat down in the dugout and KG said, "Let's take a Donny." That's a disgrace. I mean, that is...
Oh, blimey.
Shocking. I mean, even I wouldn't go that far. Even I would not go that far when it comes to that. That's a violation. KG, the comedian, man. He is something else, truly, isn't he? My goodness me. Big up KG as well. I don't know if you've noticed. KG's slimming down. He's on a not strict exercise regime, but he's putting the work in. He's been getting his steps in. He was swimming the other day too. Big up KG. Big up to all of them again. I know you guys are really enjoying that content, but they're putting the work in. We all are, and we're doing it because we love it, and we're doing it because you guys enjoy it as well. So big up to them. Super chat here from Anis says, who remembers Rodrigo Posibon and Dong Fangzhou? Yes. Absolutely remember them too, and you used to see them sometimes on a pre-season, didn't you? Sometimes on a pre-season when you just tune in. Again, I remember some of the US tours getting up really, really early or staying all the way up, and then you see them playing. You go, oh, I got a big season ahead of them. I can feel that they're going to be the next one to emerge, and then nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened with them, but. KG brings up a good point. You never know. You might be watching one of these players play today, and then in 2 or 3 years' time, you might be going, I tell you what, do you remember when we stayed up and watched Dan Gore play against Wrexham and he was brilliant? And now look at him. He's a regular starter for Manchester United as well. I'm not saying that's going to happen. But the point being is, you never know. You truly never know. Of course, it is also going to be the first game that Manchester United wear the new away kit this evening. I don't know if they're going to be wearing it tomorrow against Real Madrid. Just to give a bit of a preview for that game tomorrow. There is going to be a preview for the Real Madrid Manchester United game in Houston. That preview is going to be coming up. Well, again, depends where you are. Later today, here in the UK, it's going to be coming up, and I'm really excited about that one too. A lot of people have been talking, haven't they, for a while about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Who can get past him? Nobody can get past Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Not even Vinicius Jr. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out very soon. So tomorrow is going to be a really exciting one. Man United versus Real Madrid is always a big game, isn't it? Even if it's in pre-season. When was the last time we played Real Madrid? Gosh, is the last time we played Real Madrid the one when Nani got sent off? Is that the last time? That can't be, unless I'm mistaken. It might be, you know. In a competitive game. I know tomorrow's not a competitive game, but is that the last competitive one? Maybe in a friendly or something like that. I can't recall. Maybe. I mean, the problem is as well, I've noticed when you're younger, you remember games like singularly, and then when you get older, they just kind of again blur into each other. My memory doesn't have that kind of recollection. In the Super Cup, yes, I remember that. Yes, it was a Super Cup too. Big up H, yes, because in one of Jose's seasons, wasn't it? Yes, exactly, absolutely. Super Cup. I forgot that too. But I'm excited for that tomorrow. That's going to be a real fantastic game. Then, of course, as I mentioned, we've got Borussia Dortmund as well. That's in Vegas. Possibly going up against Sabitzer. Sabitzer signing for Borussia Dortmund too. If you are just joining us again, the team news, you can see it on the screen right now. It's Bishop in goal, Urado at right back, Johnny Evans and Fish are the two centre-backs, Alvaro Fernandez at left back. Then you've got the midfield of Gore and Collier. Gore's the captain. Shoreteri, Hannibal and Hanson Aaron are in front of them. And then Joe Hugels up front. In terms of a bench, let me just get the substitutes up in front of me as well. You've got Harrison, me, Vitek, I tell you what, that's a blur. I can't even say. There you go. Al Jofrey, Kwambala, Pai, Oyedele, McNeil, and Maja is the bench. I don't think actually, as well, I know it's pre-season, but the squad is significantly smaller because, of course, it's the academy graduates. So I don't think we're going to see what we've seen so far in these pre-season games where we have full rotation. Where we have full rotation at halftime. I don't think we'll probably see that. You'd probably think the majority of the people will get on the pitch, but I don't think we're going to see full rotation and a completely different 11. Frankly, there's not the numbers to do it. So again, that's going to be really interesting because it's going to be a competitive game, certainly. Let me know in the chat too, who are you looking to stand out? Or which players are you looking at going, I'm really interested to see how they play, or I think they might have the potential, not right now, but in a couple of years to make the step up. I mean, what's really, and this is kind of the cutthroat nature of youth football, is that it's such a small percentage. It's a real tiny fraction of people that even make it into sort of professional level football, let alone make it at Manchester United. Out of this team, there's a high chance none will ever play a senior game for Manchester United or more than a couple, and I mean like consistently. That's it. If I was to pick one out of that team on the screen right now, you'd maybe say Dan Gore's got an opportunity, maybe in the future. Hannibal, you never know. Again, it might work out for him if he does go on a permanent deal to say like a Borussia Dortmund, but Manchester United put clauses in there like a buyback clause or a clause similar to what they've got for Charlie Savage, whereby it's not a buyback clause, but if anyone puts a bid in, United have the right, I think, to match it. They've basically got first refusal, but again, it doesn't mean you can sign him back. So I'd probably say maybe Gore. Maybe. Some people say Johnny Evans for the future. It might be the more immediate future. I'm still saying that I think it's a possibility that Johnny Evans signs a one-year deal at Manchester United. I know that people are going, no, it's not going to happen. He's only there for the pre-season. United haven't ruled it out. And I think it does depend on Harry Maguire's future. I think it does depend on outgoings and finances and FFP and how much Rasmus Højlund costs and how much there is a desire to get the Sofian Amrabat deal done, which, by the way, so much noise is surrounding that Amrabat deal. I think people are getting a little bit carried away with themselves in terms of, I've seen that a couple of journalists have said, like, it's done, total agreement. That was things from Alfredo Padula, who said there's a total agreement for Rasmus Højlund and Sofian Amrabat. And what he really means is, from the players' point of view, they have deals in place with Manchester United, which is basically the way that United have been doing the deals recently, isn't it? Is that personal terms are agreed, and then it's just trying to agree a fee with the club. They're kind of doing these deals a little bit backwards now. Maybe because of what happened last year with the Frenkie de Jong deal. You remember that Frenkie de Jong deal? We had a fee agreed with Barcelona. There was a deal in place, an agreement in principle between both clubs. We didn't have a deal agreed with Frenkie de Jong. So they're kind of doing it a bit differently now. So I think it's basically what those journalists have been saying when they're like, there's total agreement for Højlund and Amrabat. There's been personal terms agreed with Højlund since May. And Romano even said the details of his contract, I think, today. And Amrabat, it looks like it's the same. I saw something also saying that Amrabat hadn't travelled with Fiorentina for one of their pre-season games. So there is an expectation, I think, that there's a deal there to be done. And Amrabat has decided to join Manchester United. But as Romano said the other day, the problem is that it's several weeks away, not just because United do deals slowly, but because there's other things that need to happen first, i.e. we need to sign Højlund first, and then after that we need to sell players. We need to move people on to have the budget to bring in an Amrabat. Those people include Elanga, who is now gone. That's been confirmed. But they also include the likes of maybe a Scott McTominay, a Dean Henderson, certainly involved in that. There have been reports that West Ham have been in discussions with Man United for both McTominay and Harry Maguire. There were those reports that also said that United view both of them as really, really important members of the squad, and it would have to take a really, really high bid for them to even consider it. They're not actively courting offers, but if an offer came in, they consider it. I saw that as United kind of, again, playing games, making sure that, well, we're not really interested in letting them go, but if a good offer came in, we'd be looking at it. They're both, whilst they might not be actively on the transfer list like Eric Bailly and Alex Telles were, they're up for sale, just maybe unofficially. i.e., again, if an offer comes in, they'll take a look at it. They're not going to rebuff any offers unless it's just ridiculous. And with West Ham, with the money they've got after the Declan Rice deal, they can afford to put in some money. It was reported again, like I said this morning to Marcel, I think Scott McTominay, United want 40 million. That's the starting point, and then go from there, which I think is fair. With the current market, I think that's fair. You got Conor Gallagher. They're putting bids in for, was it 47 million, around, or at least around 40 million. Chelsea turned it down. I think there's a debate to be had about Conor Gallagher and Scott McTominay in terms of experience, homegrown players, academy players, how many Premier League games have they played, at what level have they played. United should absolutely be caught in at least 40 million for Scott McTominay. Again, in this current market, why not? So, and then Harry Maguire, obviously wages are a problem, a massive issue there, but he's still an England international. He's still got experience. So there's certainly, again, there's deals to be done on getting players out, and then they go towards Amrabat. But I'm quite confident now that the Amrabat deal is going to happen. So that's my initial prediction of 3 signings is gone. It'll probably be 4. We'll be looking at Mason Mount, Andre Onana, Rasmus Højlund, and Amrabat. And as the window goes, that ain't half bad. That is not bad going, I don't think. With a 120 million net spend in this window, with the FFP restrictions, with the takeover stuff going on as well, it's not half bad, certainly. Players are walking out onto the pitch at the Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego, California. We've got a super chat here from Scythe. Says, Owen, yourself, Fleck, and Kevy G have helped me massively through the roughest period of my life. I appreciate you all that more than you know. Thank you. Well, thank you, Scythe. I hope everything's okay. And more than happy to help and provide entertainment, distraction, or whatever it may be. You never know what people are going through. You never do, and that's why it is always right to be kind, you know, and treat people as you wish to be treated yourself. I'm sure the entire UV community is here for you. It is a community, and everyone's always welcome. So I really appreciate that, Scythe, and hope you're all good. We're always here. The UV community is always here for you, certainly. Love says, oh, let's pillow talk. What's the tog on your duvet, mate? Like I know. I'm one of those people. Just no chance. What's this going on? We've got people in a formation on the field. Oh, it's the national anthem again. Oh, say, can you see? I wasn't gonna actually sing it. Big American flags coming out. If you weren't sure that they're in the US. Players are out there in their... It's not going to go over them, is it? I thought they were going to get put under the flag. Look how big it is. Singing it a cappella as well. Singing it a cappella. Still, as I mentioned the other day, my favourite is Fergie's, not Sir Alex's, on the Black Eyed Peas at the NBA All-Star game. The jazz one. And the players started laughing. Luxil says, oh, remember when WWE got Lillian Garcia to sing all the time? Well, this is the thing. This is how weird WWE is, because Vince McMahon's crazy, obviously. I mean, that's an understatement, particularly with the stuff last year. But he doesn't like his own national anthem. So instead of having the national anthem sung at these big shows, he has America the Beautiful sung instead. Why? Because he doesn't like the national anthem. Because he's a madman. Anis says, if we get a lot of the Rice money, cheers Arsenal. Imagine after all that, the money works its way round to us. After they bought a number 41, King Fraud Fried Rice, £100 million. Thank you very much. Digital Dozer says, if it's a draw, penalties. That indeed is accurate. Yes, we're not going to have the penalties like we had in the last game where against Arsenal, where we won 2-0 and then we just had penalties again for just because vibes. We're not having that again this evening. But what we are having, if indeed it is a draw, it's going to penalties. So there's going to be a winner determined either way. No problem. As the players just do the respect handshakes or fist bumps. Rob McClowney. How do you say his name? I'm still not very good at saying it. McEnany. He's there. Now, I thought Ryan Reynolds would be there, but apparently he's not. And the reason apparently he's not is because he's filming Deadpool 3, which I thought was strange, because I thought that basically there was no shoots in production at the moment. Obviously, you've got the writer's strike, but there's also the SAG after strike as well. So the actors are striking too. So I thought essentially every production was shut down. But there was something I saw from the Telegraph today suggesting that Ryan Reynolds isn't there because he's filming Deadpool. But I thought they can't be. I thought everyone's on strike. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. But just seeing the teams, see they've got Ben Foster in goal, former Manchester United player Ben Foster. Big up to him. Retired, came out of retirement and got promoted with League 2 with Wrexham. Of course, they won the National League, the Vanarama National League as well. It's a lovely location as well, isn't it? It's a new stadium. Flex and KG went into more in depth with it at the in the preview, saying that again it's a new build and no roof because not a lot of rain or anything like that. Pitch looks okay, a bit weirdly patchy in certain areas. I'm not sure why. Not a complete sellout as well, which I thought it would be. I thought there would be complete sellout, but it's patches in the crowd, unless just, again, California traffic is quite notoriously bad, isn't it? Maybe if it's, I don't know if that's the case. But, yeah, with just a few kickoffs imminent. Love says more packed than City's ground. Noble says probably late to the match. I think maybe, yeah. I think, because I had heard, Ben Foster's taking selfies with people on the pitch before the game. Ben Foster's a nice guy. I tell him go away. I've got a match to play. We're just waiting for kickoff. Manchester United in the green, their brand new green kit, away kit, which apparently is growing on people. I don't know what you guys think about it. I just always struggle when I watch anyone in green play because they just start blending into the grass. Not as bad as last year, but still, I still struggle with it. And we're off. Kickoff is underway. California dreams, or is it going to be California nightmares for Manchester United or Wrexham at the Snapdragon Stadium? How many California puns can we get into this one? It goes back to Bishop in goal. What are those? Again, those like light patches in the pitch. There's like, the pitch is a bit of a strange one. There's these sort of, again, white bits where it looks particularly dry. Bishop goes long up the pitch, though. He was looking for Hansen, I think. Wrexham player wins the head. Flick on. Here come Wrexham on the attack again. Again, I think this is going to be a quite competitive game. I do. Wrexham try to put the ball in the box. Gore. Here comes Hansen. And Hannibal's running in front of him. Hansen travelling up the pitch. Plays a 1-2 with Hannibal. Hansen once again. Oh, it's an unlucky ball. He was looking for Shorter. It was a good pass, actually. And it was just intercepted. Hansen got a lot of promise. A lot of people really like him. Collier gives it to Gerardo. Once again, who is linked to have a return to Barcelona. I don't know how legitimate those rumours were. A touch for Johnny Evans. Here's Fish. Tries the ball over the top. Hugel is flagged offside. We've got a super chat from Sashiv. Says, big up Owen, why does City get away with 115 charges? Disgrace and a cheat. They clearly bought the trophies. I mean, they get away with lots of things, don't they? I saw there was a thing about them arriving in Japan, wasn't there? And there was all of their sort of tour buses or pre-season buses, whatever you want to call them. And there were sort of hologram projections. And they just sort of did a thing where they said, oh, arrived in Japan. And it was wild to me that people believed that was real. People were like, oh, I tell you what, the technology, they're so far ahead of us in technology. I went, oh, it's not real. It's clearly CGI. Clearly. A good ball here. Collier's travelling. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, I just ran out. Wasn't sure what to do. He was telling you what, he was in behind. A bit more experience. He'd had a chance there. So certainly, Man United already nearly got in behind a couple of times. So there will be chances there for Manchester United. It's a throw-in. Jurado's going to take it. Goes all the way back to Fish. Now, how many Fish puns can we get in 90 minutes? Fish, of course, unrelated to former Manchester United chief executive David Gill. Wrexham, of course, a team from Wales. Yeah? As in the fish whale, fish connection. Oh! I mean, I've got to get myself out of that because I could keep going again for the whole half. Oh, it's a wayward pass, that. By Fish. Now United have got to tuck back in. Here come Wrexham on the counter-attack. Wrexham playing out from the back here. Austin Baker says that reminds me of KB's David Gilles. Yes, David Gilles. It's Hannibal, not the cannibal. Gerardo, good pass, layoff. Here's Shoreteri, puts the ball into the box. Oof. I tell you what, United look sharp so far. And as they should. A lot of these players have played together several times. Remember, through United's academy, all the way up through the ranks. As well as a throw-in. It's a quick throw-in by Gerardo. Hannibal is in behind. Wrexham was sleeping. Hannibal puts it across goal. Oh. Comes to Collier on the edge of the box. Fernandez. Hansen Aaron. On United's left-hand side. The Norwegian passes it back to Collier. Here's Dan Gore. Gore! Hannibal once again. Bright start though. Nearly 5 minutes gone. Still 0-0. Gerardo once again to Fish. Good pass. Good forward pass as well. What I have liked so far is there's a real desire from these United players to do these forward passes, breaking between the lines. Great switch by Gerardo. Fernandez. Oh, it's a poor touch by Hugo. Which is something that I have seen people say about Hugo. Those people that watch the academy on a more regular basis, they say actually he's not the best technical player. He's more of a traditional number 9, you know, just more of a goal scorer than a traditional, than a more technical player. But some good passes so far. Tell you what, Gore, Collier in midfield look good. Hansen Aaron and Hannibal looking decent too. So a lively start from United so far. Gerardo, good pass again. Real great pass that. Collier. Here's Hannibal once more. Oh, it's poor. He was looking for, I think he was looking for Hugo. Ended up going probably closer towards Hansen Aaron, actually. Wasn't the best pass, but Wrexham actually really struggling to get a foothold in this game. United playing some real nice passes so far. A lot of energy. We know, of course, Erik ten Hag is there. I'm not sure he's actually in control of the team. It's the under-21s manager. Darren Fletcher's also on the bench too. I saw Tom Huddleston, of course, is a player coach of the under-21s. He was on the bench as well. Ten Hag's there, more to oversee. That's a foul throw. Oh, I didn't give it. He's there more to oversee things. Here come Wrexham on the attack, though. Skips past the defender. Palmer cuts it back. And Dan Gore managed to sweep up. That's got to be a free kick. Well played. Let's see some of the super chats here. United View Australia branch says, Owen, can you give Open-Minded Care Disability Support Service a shout out? Shout out to them, certainly. There you go. But still 0-0 so far. Nearly 7 minutes gone in San Diego, California as well. KG's bombastic side-eye says pitch looks like a carpet. I think people were saying it's a plastic pitch. You have to remember, a lot of these stadiums aren't really set up to play soccer, so they have to kind of modify things. I mean, the pitch at the MetLife I thought was terrible, really, really bad. I think it was on the right-hand side of it, was so dry and cut up. And there's a lot of talk recently, hasn't there? I saw something in the news saying that I think officials from the World Cup, the upcoming World Cup in North America, wanted to have regular Premier League games in the US, and there's been talks of having Champions League games there as well, which I know they do it in American sports, but the reason they do it in American sports is to try and expand the outreach of the game. They have NFL games because they want to try and break into the European market, and it is popular over here in the UK. Same, they tried it with the baseball, didn't they? It's Fernandez, Hannibal, Collier, puts it out to Shaw Terry on the right-hand side. Does have options. He's going to try and go inside. He's probably going to go back to Dangor. Obviously, the captain's armband. Alvaro Fernandez, very inverted. But the Champions League game is being held in the US. I found this to be completely a bizarre concept, honestly. Because there was talks you could have the Champions League final in, say, New York or California. How can you have the European Cup final held outside of Europe? That, to me, makes no sense. As a concept, I don't understand that one at all. But money talks. And particularly when it comes to the Champions League too, after the threat of the Super League, a lot of clubs said, well, we weren't willing to go into the Super League, but you're going to have to find ways to make us more money. And money does talk. Hannibal puts out to Urado. Oh, that's a foul. It's got to be a foul. It is a foul on Shoretire. Sashiv says, do you think United will finish above Arsenal? It's a good question. We're going to go at half-time. We'll show you a bit of a debate. There's a foul on Shoretire. A debate in Times Square between Flex, Cecil, Turkish, and KG. It was a bit of a New York extra. That's up on the channel at the moment. A lot of people enjoyed that. So we'll play a clip of that because it's always fun to look and point and laugh at Arsenal's delusion, isn't it? I mean, before that game, they were telling no chance. You don't have a chance. I mean, I think it was the judge himself, the judges. We got to fuck it. We got to show it. I can't even do his accent. I can't even try. That we got no chance, and then we win. Hannibal with the free kick, puts the ball into the boxes. Oh, headed away. I thought it was a bit too heavy. It held up quite a bit. Fishes in the box, rises like a salmon. And that's a free kick to Wrexham. KG's bombastic side-eye says, too early to say. Indeed it is. I think it's too early to say about who's going to finish above the other. But I mean, that's part of the fun, isn't it? You know, before the season, everyone does their Premier League predictions, and everyone at the end of the season is miles off. Absolutely miles off. Gore hits it up the pitch to nobody. Oh, to another poor pass by Wrexham. It must be said, the quality of this Wrexham side is really there to be seen in that they're not great. Quite a few mistakes so far, maybe even struggling with the occasion a little bit. Here's Alvaro Fernandez. Again, really central positions. He takes the inverted fullback role very seriously. Collier to Shoretire. Oh, it's a short pass. Urado manages to get to it, though. Shoretire again. The overlap's there. Out to Collier. He's been really involved quite a lot so far, hasn't he? Urado. Not sure who that's to, though. Seeing a lot of that so far with United. Good build-up play, but just that sort of final pass or a couple of sloppy passes here and there. But the build-up play's okay. Alvaro Fernandez. Gore tries the ball over the top. Not sure who he was really looking for because it goes straight to a Wrexham defender. Now, Wrexham just go long there. I tell you what, he might be in. Keeper's come a long way. Oof, he went into the play, and if he's given a foul, he wouldn't send him off. He booked him. Oof. I tell you what, Wrexham, it was just a simple long ball over the top. You know, I don't deal with it at all. Just a straight long ball. I'm not sure who the defender was. I'm not sure if it was Fish. He's been done like a kipper there. And then Bishop comes out, and let's face it, if that's a regular game, like in the Premier League or in the Football League, he gets sent off. He's lucky just to get booked. That could have been easily a straight red. Last man, we get away with one. The Wrexham player's down because he's just gone in and headbutted him in the ribs, I think, or kneed him in the ribs. He might be winded. Let's take a look at this. Again, it's really just simple. Long ball over the top. Who's the defender? Is it Johnny Evans? Yeah, Johnny Evans been done now, mate. Maybe Johnny, that contract for Johnny might be a bit off. There's an argument to be made, actually. A booking might have been the right decision. Johnny Evans would have been behind, so he's not the last man. So sort of the double jeopardy might not have been there. I didn't even know what the rule is. Now when it comes to sort of being the last man as a goalkeeper, maybe a booking was actually the right call because Johnny Evans was in behind. But Johnny Evans, yeah, has just been done. Has just been done by a long ball against Wrexham. Literally, long ball can't deal with it. About that playing in the Premier League. About that being fifth choice. But he looks to be in quite a bit of discomfort here. He's down on the floor. Yeah, maybe we don't give Johnny Evans that contract. Maybe. But he's down, and there's quite a few medical team around him, so clearly he's in a lot of discomfort. Maybe he's got a broken rib or something like that. Again, my initial reaction was he was lucky when it came to being booked. But when you do watch the replay, the defender probably would have just been in behind. So I think booking's the right call, but it's very borderline. Absolutely. But yeah, a lot of medical team around him. So here's hoping he's okay. Phil Parkinson's talking to the fourth official, I think asking maybe why. Why wasn't it a red card? I think the referee might have just thought it's a friendly, so I don't want to send the player off, and two, the defender might have just got there and behind. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think that would have been a red card, or do you think that should have been a red card? What do you think? My initial reaction was he might get sent off, but having watched the replay, it was borderline, very much borderline. I think that, again, the fact it was a friendly and the fact that the player I'm just seeing another replay here. Again, Johnny Evans gets done. I think, yeah, there's an argument to make. Johnny Evans would have just swept behind. Oof, he takes a hell of a blow as well. It's his hip. I'm not sure if it's his hip or his ribs, but Nathan Bishop, in fairness to the goalkeeper, has only got eyes for the ball, and it's brave from both players, which you have to be in those situations, but he's in a lot of discomfort. And there's a big stoppage in the game now because of this. Stretches out, he hasn't got back to his feet. Lots of medical staff surrounding him, and this doesn't look good at all, actually. Here's hoping he's okay. Initially, it was like, oh, maybe he's just got the wind taken out of him, or he's just, just taken a bit of a knock, but he has not moved. So, again, I don't know if it's his hip or his ribs or something like that. What people are saying in the chat here? People are saying red. People said they thought it would have been red. Red all day. Defra red. Digital Dozer says red. I think it was given the nature of the injury as well. Not that the referee knows that at the time. But, yeah, it definitely doesn't look good. I mean, there's been a real large stoppage in this game. Can't even really see if the player's still sitting upright or anything like that. Game Fanatic says double jeopardy is only for pens. Yeah, again, I don't even know, honestly, I don't even know the rules anymore when it comes to that. As a goalkeeper, it used to just be like, last man, you got sent off. That was it. Then it's changed like 2 or 3 times now, so I'm not too sure. But he's still not even on the stretcher just now, so they're really taking their time, and they're taking as much precautions as possible. And there's a big huddle of people around him, so you can't really tell what's going on here. So either way, we're going to get a ton of stoppage time, but it's irrelevant. Hopefully the player's okay, but again, it does look very, very serious. Way more serious, I think, than first anticipated. And when you have a stoppage like this, so I think, so he is sitting up. We can see that the player is sitting up. He's got the oxygen mask on, which isn't good. I think they're checking his sort of blood pressure as well. He's got one of those things around his arm. And he's now back actually on his feet, I think, which is good. He's back up. He's back up on his feet, which is a positive. I don't know if he's going to be stretchered off or anything like that. But he's talking, which is good. And he's walking. Looks like he's going to be leaving the field upon his own power, which is positive as well. But he looks in a lot of discomfort and a lot of pain. He's breathing. I think, yeah, possibly it might be his ribs. Hence the oxygen coming out. I think maybe getting not only winded, but also he might have a couple of cracked ribs or something like that, which is not nice. Not nice. If you've ever been got bruised ribs or anything like that, or even broken ribs, every single time you take a breath, it hurts like hell. So yeah, it is no joke. And in a friendly situation where you've just got time, you take every precaution possible. The player's health is the most important thing. That is paramount. And again, positive that he's leaving the pitch on his own 2 feet, but he looks to be in a lot of pain and a lot of shock. But we've now got this free kick on the edge of the box. And obviously a substitution's been made. So Mullin, the player that was injured, has been taken off. And Billy Waters is coming on to replace him for Wrexham. As I mentioned, free kick's going to be taken just on the edge of the box. It's in a good position as well. Wall seems really far away too. Really, really far away. Keeper's off his line too. And it's gone miles over. After all that, it's gone... After all that, it's gone over. But that's the thing. I think people... I mean, you might have, in the chat, some of you may have broken ribs or anything like that. But even if you, like I said, you bruise your ribs, or even you get the wind taken out of you or whatever, sometimes you always go into shock because you go, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Bishop hits the ball up the pitch, not really towards anyone. Now Hannibal wins the ball back. Here comes United again in transition. Urado gives it back to Hannibal on the right-hand side. Looking for Shola Shaw or Terry. And it's cleared by the Wrexham player out for a throw-in. Noble says we took that no friendly thing to heart. Well, no such thing as a friendly from Eric Ten Hag. If you haven't already, by the way, guys, click the like button. Got over 400 people watching at 3:51 a.m. in the morning. Of course, we've got a global community, so it's probably not 3:51 where you are. So if you haven't already, click that like button. See if we can get to 500 likes before halftime. If we can get to like 400, the ratio, that might be the best one yet. And that's another free kick to Wrexham. This time, I'm not sure. It was a foul by Dan Gore. Navaldo says Owen's talking like he's had broken ribs. He's been doing too many swanton bombs. I haven't had fully broken ribs, maybe to the extent that he had them, but I've had bruised ribs, and yeah, that hurts. Bruised ribs, or again, just in general, having the wind taken out of you from taking a big fall or a big bump, as it were, that hurts. That does hurt. Playing in goal. And sometimes those hard pitches, you know, the ones in the summer that have got no moisture in them. Ouch. Oh, it's a shot. Good save by Bishop. And cleared by Urado. That's sort of when you go bang and you hit the floor and you go and you try and take a breath and you can't. You go, I can't breathe. And then again, even if it's like just bruised or cracked, then later on, you'll be laying there, you try and take a breath, and you go, every single time. Oh, horrible. Throw into Wrexham, though. It's going to be a long one. Ball thrown into the box. Tries a flick on. Still in the box. Headed away by United. Shorteri clears it. And that's another foul. Game's got a bit of bite to it. Juice says, big up from Canada. Big up to Canada. Where? What province? Montreal, Quebec, Saskatchewan, Calgary, Alberta. It's just Danny says, fishing for a compliment, Owen? No. Be too easy. I could reel you in. I'm not going to take the bait. Johnny Evans gives it to Fish. Shoretiri. It's not a foul. Wrexham win the ball back. And just smashed out by Fish. Ugh, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. Tom Huddleston now on the bench. He's a player coach for the under 21s. But very much a stop-start game. Long throw in the box. Oh, that's a heck of a throw, that. Oh, headed away. I love an old-fashioned long throw. Everyone says, ball in, and Bishop claims it. Everyone always goes and talks about the Roy Delap long throw, don't they? But what was funny with the Roy Delap thing is when he was at Stoke and they were winning games and scoring goals because of it, they were like that was the first time he had ever done that. He'd been doing that his whole career. I remember when he played at Southampton, he did that. And then suddenly, you know, he was doing it at Stoke, and Tony Pulis really knew how to weaponize it, and it became really, again, a really strong weapon for them. But it kind of screwed him up eventually, because I think after a while he had to get shoulder surgery because his shoulders were coming out of socket. Ball over the top by Hannibal. Shoretiri, I think, was offside, and it goes all the way back to Ben Foster. One of the first touches of the ball for Ben Foster. Tried the long kick again, and Bishop's not going to come out to claim this one. So a couple of times they've tried that long ball, Wrexham. It's worked. Ball into the box. Collier clears. Wrexham now have the ball down United's left-hand side. Trying to work the ball in. They does put the balls in the box. And Urado clears it. There is definitely a lack of quality. I mean... Oh, nearly goes out for a throw-in. Call me crazy, but I do think the quality may be a touch higher with Manchester United's first team versus Real Madrid's first team. So that's a good pass by Dan Gore. Here comes Hansen Aaron. Oh, he tried to go between the two players. Just was intercepted. Wrexham have managed to settle into the game a bit more. As I mentioned, first 10 minutes, United actually looked quite good. Good link-up play, but since then, maybe because of the injury, they've just sort of lost their rhythm a little bit. But as I said before the game, I did think, and I still do, and I think this is evidence of it, this is going to be a really tight game, a really even game. Very much, it's a mixture of two things, isn't it? It's not only got a pre-season vibe, because of course it's a pre-season friendly, but it's very much got sort of an Academy Reserves vibe, where the quality is just a little bit below what you would expect to see usually from a Man United team. But that's because, again, that's the quality of players on show, isn't it? And this game is more about the experience for both sides as opposed to, let's say, the quality. Are they booing Bishop every time he's on the ball? Get out of it, man. It's a 50-50 chance. He didn't purposely try and break his ribs. He didn't drop kick him in the chest or anything like that. Injuries happen. Come on, man. I don't like that. I mean, I get it. You know, that's what you do, but come on. That's ridiculous. By the way, we are 10 subscribers away. 10. You can see that's a real life... Point the right way, Owen. That's a real life, real-time subscription counter. So we're 10 subscribers away from 148,000. And if we do it for a Man United Academy team versus Wrexham, that'd be incredible. Good through ball. Here's Shola Shoretiri on the right-hand side. Ball in. Oof, Urado. It was blocked. Oof. Collier just gets shoved off the ball, and that's a Wrexham throw-in. Flagy says, yeah, it was an accident. Michael says, Gore looks good, and his passing is quality. Red Devil says, Gore! Gore! Oh. I hope he scores for that very reason. I can press that. They got Paul Haben, the wise man. But yeah, they're booing Bishop because the player got injured. It's a friendly. He didn't do it on purpose or anything like that. That is just... That's what a goalkeeper should do. In that situation, if they come rushing out, they always say commit. Whether you hurt yourself or you hurt the player, it is what it is. If you back out, that's when you really get hurt. Foster Took every possible second, puts the ball up the pitch. And that goes out for a Wrexham throw-in after Fernandez wins the header. Reminder, we'll be live tomorrow for Manchester United versus Real Madrid from Houston, Texas. Here once again in the Asylum. Kickoff is 1:30, so we'll be live at 1 a.m. Not as late as we're up this evening. Wrexham on the attack. McFadzean puts it back to Elliot Lee. Oh, Hannibal nearly intercepted. Oh, he's not happy at all. Screaming at the linesman. Oh, I tell you what, 3 United players have been done there. And United recover quite well. I was quite surprised to see Hannibal involved with this group of players. I thought that, granted, he's not going to be pushing the other midfielders in the first team. But in terms of this team that's out on the pitch, he's probably one of the most senior players, aside from Johnny Evans, in terms of first team experience and experience at senior level. Maybe not so much at Manchester United, but certainly at Birmingham last season. Ball in the box, there's a header! Wrexham 1-0 up. Elliot Lee scores. And to be fair, I think it's been coming. After United started well, the first 10 minutes, Wrexham score. And we've got a game on our hands. First real moment of quality, you would say, in the game. It's a decent ball in the box into a decent area. Just have a look at the forward play as well. He's on Fish. And he does him like a kipper. It's poor. It's poor. He actually manages to get a flick on, and the goal scorer is less than 6 yards out. Flicks on. Urada's not tracking his man. Goalkeeper can do nothing about it. It's quite poor defending from United, really. It's a ball in the box. Fish doesn't pass the player on to Johnny Evans. Player flicks it on, and then the player just strokes it home a couple of yards out. And as I mentioned, it doesn't matter which Manchester United side is playing, what players are playing. The Wrexham team and the Wrexham fans will be like, we beat Manchester United. So it doesn't matter how old you are, you've got to live up to the United standards. And Wrexham deservedly in front at the moment. Now ball over the top towards Hugo. Flicks it on. It's got a Hansen Aaron. He's going to put it over the top. Oh, it's a chance. Ben Foster was in no man's land and he scored. Oh. I think he'll be disappointed with this. It was a ball over the top. Joe Hugo manages to get a touch on it. Ben Foster didn't anticipate him getting that touch. And Hansen Aaron will be annoyed with that. He should do better. But 30 minutes gone, Wrexham 1-0 up. Deservedly so. After a rocky start to the game, certainly, from the League Two side. They grew into the game. Almost like that injury kind of galvanised them a little bit. Foster goes long again. They've done a couple of long balls. And they've just gone straight in behind really easily. Oh, Wrexham nearly in again. United on the ropes a little bit here. But I think they'll be really disappointed with that goal, United. They'll be really disappointed, the under-23s coaches and team. Primarily because, again, it's just really sloppy defending, particularly with Fish not passing across the striker, Palmer, who managed to get the flick on. And then after that, you've got no chance. It's just simple communication. And that just goes to show it, even at this level against the League Two side. If you switch off, you'll get punished for it. Sure, Terry loses the ball. Oh, good tackle. Wins it back. Oh, that's a foul on Hannibal, surely. Referee! And really, Ben Foster's had nothing to do. He's had no saves to make, really. Yeah, there was a chance from Hansen Aaron a couple of minutes ago, but Ben Foster's not had to make any saves. The game does have a little bit of bite in it, though. But again, particularly because of the injury. But last couple of seconds, we've seen some maybe more aggressive fouls go in. The Fish puns continue across 90 minutes. People saying, you don't want to go in too hard on him. You don't want him to get battered. Wrexham on the ball once again. All the way back to Ben Foster. Well, he takes every available second again. Ben Foster kind of gets away with it. Oof. Goes out for United throw in. Here's Gerardo. Love says this will be 2-2. But United seem to have just kind of abandoned what they were doing. In the first 5-10 minutes, as I mentioned, they played some really nice stuff. Some good passes, forward passes. And now they've just got a bit sloppy. Here goes Hannibal, past a couple of players. And that's got to be a foul, surely. Does really, really well. Excellent work by Hannibal. Picks up the ball, travels with it, wins a foul right on the edge of the box. I think he looks a cut above, doesn't he, Hannibal? In terms of the United players that are playing. It's a clear foul as well. He wins it. He's smart. I think you can see promise in players like Dan Gore. But so far in this game, Hannibal has been just a cut above. He just shows energy, intensity, aggressiveness. Almost maybe feels a bit too good for sort of the rest of the players that are out on the pitch. Again, still probably quite far off the Man United first team side. But he's definitely going to go out at minimum on loan, isn't he? But he does well. It's going to be Hannibal standing over it. The question is he going to go for goal or is he going to put the ball in the box? Chris says you can see Hannibal played for a year in the Championship. Absolutely. Like I said, you can just see that experience. Ball in. Headed away by Wrexham. Gerardo, it's a heavy touch again and he wins a foul. But again, there have been a couple of instances like that with United. Of heavy touches, a bit of sloppiness. And once you drop your quality, and then it just becomes a battle of physicality or intensity, Wrexham are going to win because that's sort of lower league football. That's a good pass. Here's Gerardo, puts the ball in. Oh, he was looking for Hanson Aaron. Oh, it's actually Collier, excuse me. And I think eventually he was offside. But yeah, if you drop your quality levels, which United did after sort of 10-15 minutes, and then it just becomes a game of grit and becomes a game of physicality and long balls, then the League Two side's probably going to win. No disrespect to them, but that's lower league football. It's a lot more physical. And what also then you've got a bunch of kids playing against a bunch of men, really. And the men most likely are going to win in that instance. So United have to make the game about technical quality. Keep the ball, be smart with the ball, don't be sloppy, and also don't try and force it as well. Ben Foster goes long at the pitch. Wrexham won the... I thought they won the flick on, but it's actually a Wrexham throw-in. Every single time they go long, I feel like Wrexham win every ball. So, I need to be better with that. Again, but that's when it goes back to being physical. When you play long ball, so then it's about winning the ball in the air. And here we go again. They're going to go for a long throw-in. Another long throw-in. 35 minutes gone. Wrexham. Big long throw into the box. Wins the first header, wins the second header. 2-0. They'll be really, really disappointed with that. Really, really disappointed. It's basic. It's really basic. Long throw. Wins the first header. Wins the second. 2-0. Very sloppy. They'll be very, very, very disappointed with that. It's obvious. And what was I just saying? Physicality. Once it becomes a game of how physical can you be, you've got a bunch of kids playing against a bunch of men. And that's what it kind of looks like. Yeah, it's just, again, it's a really basic goal. Long throw. Player makes the run, flicks it on, and then they don't win the second ball. Out jumps Gerardo at the back post. Gerardo and Fish. Doesn't rise like a salmon. 2-0. And a very basic goal. And a reality check for some of these Manchester United youngsters. And this is what I was saying before the game as well. You can't... Just because it's Man United doesn't mean you've got a right to beat them. And after a decent 5-10 minutes at the start of the game, it's really been all Wrexham since then. They've looked far more dangerous. They've seen what's the Achilles heel in this young side, which is... Go long, be physical, rough them up a bit, and see if the team's willing to fight back. And that was it. They're not. They're not really. I mean, obviously, these Wrexham players technically aren't as good as these United youngsters, But one thing they can do, I think they've probably won every single header so far, Wrexham. They've won every single header. Every time they've got a set piece, they look dangerous. They go long all the time, and United can't deal with it. It is a bit like when you've got that, when you're playing sort of Sunday League or youth football, and you've got your under 16s play your under 18s, or they play the actual youth side, and it's just, again, once it gets physical, that's it. Bit of experience, bit of physicality. That's the difference. You can do nice passes together, and you can make some quaint moves, but that's about it. Gerardo, Collier, and now I think one thing they've got to be careful with these United players at the moment is you don't want it to get embarrassing. It's 2-0. You'd say at the moment, make it to half-time and try and reset and reevaluate. You're still Man United. You're still representing the shirt. You're still wearing the badge. And the headlines tomorrow, when people wake up, or later on today rather, could be a drubbing for United. And I'm sure Erik ten Hag won't be happy about that. What do you think Erik ten Hag would say to these United youngsters at half-time? Do you think he would say, hey, stick to your game? The game plan is, extenuate your positives, hide your negatives. The negatives are, if you get into a physical battle, you will lose, which is why you're losing 2-0. If you highlight your positives, which is keep the ball, be smart in possession, be wise with the ball, let them chase you, let them tire your opposition out, have the majority of the possession, then you'll get opportunities, you'll get chances. And they haven't done that, really. Gore flicks on, but again, to who? No one. The biggest asset and attribute that these youngsters have is their technical ability, and they're not really showing that. It's an opportunity. Gore wins it back, though. Oof, that's got to be a foul as well. That was a nasty one from McFadzean. KG's bombastic side-eye says Chelsea beat them 5-0. In fairness, that was Chelsea's first team, wasn't it? I believe. It wasn't their academy players. Gore gives it back to Fish. Johnny Evans. Oh, even that's a sloppy pass. It's a sloppy layup from Collier. And here Wrexham on the counter-attack again. Puts it across goal. Oh, what is Gore doing there? United are all over the place. Absolutely all over the place in terms of making mistakes. I mean, these are young players and they look absolutely rattled at the moment. They're, again, making mistakes, sloppy passes, and just need to settle down a little bit. Regain the composure. And actually, you're probably looking to more senior players, like people like Johnny Evans, telling them, calm down, keep the ball, don't force it, don't chase the game. Here's Hannibal. He feels like at points he's trying to do it all by himself. He wanted a foul, didn't get given it. Fish gives it to Jurado. Through the legs, that's better. Here's Hannibal again. And he wins a throw-in. It's a throw-in for Manchester United. Well, one thing's for sure, they're not going to go long like Wrexham because they haven't won a header so far. Jurado. Remember, we are going to get a lot of stoppage time. There was, what, like a 10-minute gap? Something like that? Shortere gives it to Jurado. Gore has a lot to do. Surrounded by 3 red shirts. Does well. Gives it to Shortere. Back to Jurado. Gore just about onside. And just to get into the box. Shortere takes it away. Hannibal. It's very, very tight, isn't it? Whilst you want to keep it possession based, you want to be wary of not overplaying. There's good moves by United, but Hansen Aaron goes for the switch. It's a good ball. Jurado, decent touch. Now is he going to go back to Shortere? Probably it's got to be quicker. Again, where are you going with that? It's really poor by Jurado. He receives the ball and he's got space and time and he takes way too much time, and eventually you say, mate, you've got to do something with it. You've got to give the ball back, or you've got to put the ball in the box, or got to decide to go individually. And he kind of just tries to do 3 things at once and just side foots the ball into the box. What a big waste. If you haven't already, click the like button as well. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Long ball, Johnny Evans. What was that? It's gone out for a corner. Oh, shocking. Absolutely terrible. And Johnny Evans is now looking at his goalkeeper. Erik ten Hag doesn't look that happy. He's raising his eyebrows, almost to kind of maybe say, look, you know, sometimes when people talk about, oh, play the kids, play the kids. Remember a couple of years ago when Ralph Rangnick was in charge and people were saying, play the kids? This is why you don't play the kids. Because, not that they're not good enough, but in men's football, against senior teams, just again, the physicality can just be too much. Corner kick, ball into the box. Second ball goes to a Wrexham player. To be honest, every single time they have a set piece, they look like they're going to score. Just again, the physicality is just way too much. And he says Evans needs to pin the striker like Lissandro Fish sweeps. Johnny Evans kind of looks all over the place as well, doesn't he? At the moment. Striker says it's literally men versus boys. Oof, United trying to playing out from the back and just get away with it. Wow. The kids are firmly on the ropes. Absolutely firmly on the ropes. I mean, look, even if the result is really bad, it'll be positive for them in the long term because, again, it'll be a reality check or it'll be a learning experience, and that's what it's about for these players, particularly the younger ones, which is the majority of them. It's a learning experience. But I think the biggest disappointment will be is that they clearly had a game plan that they stuck to for about 10 minutes, and then they got too involved into the physical side of it. That's a good pass. Hannibal once again. Urado. Fish. To Evans. Dan Gore. Hannibal. Dan Gore once again goes for a switch. Out to Fernandez. Collier. No one gives him a shout. And it's a free kick. Collier thought he had more time. No one gives him a shout. Wrexham player just pinches the ball. Wins a free kick. We're 8 subscribers away, by the way, from 148,000. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Click that notification bell as well. Santiago says the time is not timing. Referring to what? The timer? Our timer? Because our timer is bang on. I can see it right in front of me. Or just the time of the morning, maybe. Long ball by Foster. United actually win a header. Rare. But ball again now, it's just bouncing around all over the place. United need to, again, get the ball back down. Take your time. Keep possession. Wait for spaces to open. Trust your ability. Don't get physical. 5 minutes of stoppage time, of course, for that big injury. Collier. Hanson Aaron. Johnny Evans gives it to Dan Gore. And that's going to be a foul. Foul by the Wrexham player. It's actually a booking for McFadzean on Shola Shortere. A couple of times he's done fouls in this game is actually McFadzean. Nasty. Very, very nasty. Some would say.
So where's the card then? Where's the card?
But there was discussions, wasn't there, about is Kobbie Mainoo going to be involved in this game? There's a reason Kobbie Mainoo isn't involved in this game. Again, no disrespect to some of the players playing, but Kobbie Mainoo is far superior. It'd be a disservice for Kobbie Mainoo to be involved in this game, really. You know, he's too good. Hannibal, ball in the box. Good ball, that. Oh, it was cleared away. Still in the box. Oh, he scuffed it. Shola Shorte tried to win the header. It wouldn't quite fall for him. Now it's a throw into United. Gerardo. Layoff. Gerardo. Oh, what is that? Again. I tell you what, Gerardo, last 10 minutes is putting some absolute stinkers of passes. A lot of individual errors from some of these United players in the first half. Here's Alvaro Fernandez. You do get the impression that they came into it with quite a bit of confidence and after going 2-0 down, some of them are starting to panic a little bit and going, oh, are we going to be embarrassed? Oh, we're playing for United. Oh, what's going on? You've got to just stay composed. Either way, positive or negative result, it's going to be a good learning experience for them. No doubt about that. So, throw in for United. It's a good throw, of course. He's not offside. Well, Hugo, it was a poor touch, actually, but he managed to sort of get away with it. United want a handball. Hannibal wants it. I think he's the only one appealing for it. But it was a good long throw. Joe Hugo with actually a really poor touch, but the touch is enough to actually get him away from the defender. I think he slips in the end. But still, Ben Foster really yet to make any save worth of significance in this game. Here's Fernandez. Hugo in the box. Puts it across. Got a really good ball, but no one's making the run. Really good centre-forward play from Joe Hugo there. Actually receives the ball, back to goal, manages to turn, puts it across goal, and that's when you're looking at someone like Shorteri or Hannibal. Make a run. Make that run. Get across goal. That's where a good attacker sniffs out that danger. Shorteri puts his hand up because he knows he should have been there. Absolutely should have been there in that position. As a wide player, you've got to make those runs. Hannibal stands over the corner. Ball in the box is good ball, actually, or headed away. Shola Shorteri. Dan Gore. Here's Jurado. Gives it back to Hannibal. Hannibal again. And puts it out to Alvaro Fernandez. United trying to continue pushing at half-time, towards half-time. Hannibal. I mean, I really, again, haven't really created all that much. And that's a throw-in for United. Jurado plays it off McFadzean once again. Jurado with the throw-in. We're into the final minute of stoppage time. Dan Gore, not sure where he's really running into. Charges forward, but if you're going to run into red shirts, you're going to lose the ball. Elliot Lee, United do win the ball back. That's better press. Collier. That's a short pass. He was looking for Hansen Aura and he gets away with it. Again, a couple of short passes by United in this first half. Hansen Aura. Good feet. Gives it to Shola Shorteri. Again, where are you running into? Where are you running into? You're running into tight areas. Hannibal. Gives it out to Jurado. Went to cross it in. Does a second time and cleared. Johnny Evans tries to recycle it. Good header towards Hansen Oren. Fernandez. Good ball into the box. Back post. 2-1. There you go. United are back in it. Jurado. Come on. Come on. Come on. Harado. Harad. Whoa. Harad. Goal. Harad. No. No for Wrexham. United are back in it. And the last sort of 5 minutes, started to play a bit better. Working the ball. Use technical abilities. I tell you what as well, it's a good finish and it's a good ball. Look at this ball into the box by Alvaro Fernandez. Brilliant ball in the box. Gerardo gets past the defender and just tucks it in. Good finish, good goal. Game on. The fullbacks combine to pull one back for Manchester United. Certainly game on. And that's half-time. So half-time, it's Manchester United 1, Wrexham 2. Wrexham deservedly in front, certainly at half-time. I think you can't argue that. United at points kind of lost their way a little bit. Again, they started well. First 10 minutes started particularly well. And then maybe after that injury just kind of woke Wrexham up, sort of settled it down a little bit for Wrexham, I don't know. And then after that, they just suddenly, just started to be more physical. They figured it out that when you're playing a team full of sort of academy players, under 21 players, and you're a men's team, a senior men's team, make it physical. Play long ball, utilize set pieces, utilize throw-ins, utilize corners, and that's what Wrexham did. And because of that, they went 2-0 up in pretty quick succession. And you could tell there for at least a good 5-10 minute period, then the United youngsters were on the rocks. They were like, oh my goodness me, and you worried for him. I worried for him, Jeff. You worried for him because you thought, oh, how bad is this going to get for them? Are they going to completely collapse here? And maybe it looked like they were on the verge of it a little bit, but towards the end of that first half, they start to again stick to the principles, and that will be what Erik ten Hag and the under 21s staff will say to him at halftime: is stick to the principles. When you stick to the principles, you get chances, you get opportunities. Yes, they're stronger than you. Yes, they're older than you, so they're going to be more physical than you. And if you let it turn into a physical game, you will lose. You've already seen that. You will lose if you make it physical, if you allow it to be physical. What you can do is trust what's got you to be under contract to Manchester United so far, and that is your technical ability. That is keep it on the floor. That is work it into the box. If the opportunity is not there, go backwards. Sometimes you have to go backwards to go forward. And you look at that goal, that was a case of working it into the box, getting it to Alvaro Fernandez, good ball into the box. Gerardo manages to get a yard on the defender and put it in the back of the net. So United have a lifeline there. In terms of the overall quality, of course, the overall quality is not there like it will be tomorrow for Real Madrid versus United, because it's the youngsters and playing against a League 2 side. But very much pre-season sort of academy game, and I think that for some of them it will be a wake-up call. And I think for some fans it might be a bit of a wake-up call too. I think sometimes we can be a bit frivolent when we just say, "I'll play this youngster," or "This youngster's ready." Well, you see a team of them there. They're struggling against the League 2 side. Some of them, they're struggling with the physicality, and in the Premier League. In the Premier League, they struggle with that, certainly. Who would you say has been our best player so far, if you were going to go through them? I think Fernandez has done well in terms of the back four. Gerardo gets the goal, but I actually think he had quite a poor first half, actually. The centre-back struggled. Even Johnny Evans, again, he had for that injury, he got completely done by a long ball. Midfielders, I was hoping maybe for a bit more from Dan Gore. That rhymes. Gore. I think he struggled at points. And then the front four, largely the same. Shoretire, Hannibal, and Hansen Aaron have had bits of the ball. Hannibal looks like he's trying to make stuff happen, but I'm not sure the quality's there surrounding him. Joe Kugel, a few good touches, a few good centre-forward plays. I mean, he howled at the ball, put it across goal, and there was just nobody there to tap it in. But in terms of the best player for us on the pitch, I don't know. I don't know. I think, again, Fernandez and Hannibal, you can tell those two players in particular. Those two players were out on loan last season. Fernandez played over 40 games for Preston, was Young Player of the Year. You can see the difference of just playing first-team football, men's football for a year, how much it can develop a player. Hannibal, the same. He was on loan at Birmingham. Even though he hasn't had the best first half, he looks far more comfortable in this game than some of the other players. And again, that's the difference. And for all of the talk, people talking about Kobbie Mainoo, you can tell why he's involved in the first team and not the under-21s at the moment, because he's frankly too good. He's too good with some of these youngsters, to be honest. So that's the score at halftime. Once again, we've got to pause for the cause and talk about the people sponsoring today's live stream. First of all, we're going to be talking about Prime Planet. Yes, Prime Planet. This video is brought to you by Prime Planet. They are the best in class for all of your travel, entertainment, and hospitality needs around the world. So whenever you see Flex, KG, and Josh jet setting around the globe, be it the USA, Australia, Thailand, Spain, and beyond, Prime Planet gets us there as UV's travel partner. Click the link in the video description below and get all your travel, entertainment, and hospitality needs covered. In addition to that, we've also got to shout out Cracksaloy.
This video is brought to you by Cracks Only. Check out the link in the video description below to get to their website and check out their latest products. Trust me, you do not want to miss them.
Cracksoli, yes, you do not want to miss them, as Flex said. As Flex said, the video is also brought to you by Cracksoli. Make sure you click the link in the video description to check out their latest catalogue of streetwear. They're currently doing big things in LA with many MLS stars wearing their product. So if you want to dress like the stars, you know what to do. Check them out in the video description. You will not regret it. So, as I mentioned, 2-1 to Wrexham at half-time. Let me know your thoughts. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well. Three subscribers away. You can see it, top right hand corner. That's a live ticker. So maybe we can get to 148. Maybe we can do it. Let's see what some of you guys are saying here at the moment. Rafa says Hannibal in terms of, I guess, the best player. I think that was the question I asked. Who was the best player on the pitch? Big up Steph at this early time. Says Hannibal and Collier stand out for me, especially Collier. Harron says, can't disagree, but Hannibal needs to really express himself. I felt with Hannibal again, I think you can tell, like I said, he's played a season at Birmingham, and I do think he looks a bit of a cut, Hannibal, cut above the rest, but I think he is maybe trying to force it too much himself, maybe, and trying to make too much happen individually by himself. Maybe, again, that's out of frustration of maybe the players around him aren't as good as him. That might be part of it as well. Blow says, Jurado, not Jurado. Apologies, my pronunciation, you know me, is terrible. Oliver Little says, are there penalties again after the game? Only if it's level. So if United score another goal and we end up at full-time 2-2, then it will go to penalties. If not, we're not going to have what we had against Arsenal the other day, where we're just going to have penalties for the sake of having penalties, which was, again, quite bizarre. Oog says, Collier, Gore and Fernandez are the better players. Rafa says, Hannibal looks like he wants to be a young Bruno. Red says, Hannibal, Gore, Hansen, Fernandez have been alright. The rest have been meh and need to develop. Like I said, certainly, no doubt it'll be a wake-up call for a lot of these players. No doubt about that. And as Rafa says, penalties if there is a draw only. What I do want to say also as well, I said that we were going to chat about this at half-time because I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, because there was a bit of a debate that was held in Times Square. There was a debate held in Times Square between United View and AFTV, and it was about what both teams can achieve this season. What can they both achieve? What trophies can they win? Maybe it was more slanted towards what Arsenal's going to do, considering how deluded they are and how biased they are, particularly some of these Arsenal fans. Here's a quick snippet of it. It's a full video. You can check it out on the channel. It involves Flex, KG, Cecil, Turkish, James, all of the AFTV guys. Here's a quick snippet, and let me know your thoughts about it.
Which cups though? Which cups are we talking?
I like Carabao. I like Carabao. FA Cup. No, what do you think we're you about? What do you think we're the Emirates thing?
Summer pre-season.
Bro, you man just into the chat recently, you know. You man acting like you. Go on. You man into the chat recently. So what have you been doing before?
Last season, second one, and then
go on.
FA Cup. I don't know. Yeah, won FA Cup. Where were you?
No, I'm saying, but you into the chat recently. Stop talking about up the table. That's a new conversation.
You man left the chat 10 years ago.
It's a mad thing, but don't act like you
No, wait, they had Dreamcast on the top, bro. They don't even make that console anymore. The last time you lot were doing anything, you had Dreamcast on there, mate. Nah, mate. Oh, 02, same thing, bro. Oh, you left it 10 years ago. When did you leave it then? 18 years ago.
We're back in it.
Oh, back in.
It doesn't matter when we left it anymore. If we're back in the chat, we're here.
Do you know what, yeah? Turkish, out of everyone, Turkish is the one who surprised me the most, yeah? Because Turkish is the level-headed one who never really, he's always going, listen, this is the problem with Arsenal fans, they get like in the bad moments. He's talking about Mbappe, why can't we, what? Just stay, just enjoy Declan Rice, just enjoy why are you talking about Mbappe for? Why? For what reason?
It's a new era. It's a new era. You see it?
Of what?
These men have had money, they've spent money.
Of what?
They've been charged by the UEFA, FFP. It's all long.
Of what? A new era?
Arsenal now, it's a new era. Mbappe.
Champions League again.
But the sample size is 1 year.
Oh.
You can't say you're back. The sample size is 1 year. It's an exciting period, but you're not back, you don't know if you're back here. Back is Arsenal winning the best honour. That's back. That's what we're going to do. That's what Arsenal's made of. We're going to win the league. Invincibles. I want to double winning team. That's back.
We are talking back in the chat.
Are you back? What you? All right, yeah.
We're back in the chat.
Tell me the state of play. What's the state of play, Arsenal?
Minimum top 2 challenge for the league. Minimum. Champions League quarterfinals.
So if you finish third, that's a failure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. All right. If you finish third, but it was 6 points off the top.
Listen, that's all mathematics, bro. We do maths at the end if that's necessary.
All right.
I don't want to deal with maths.
Does a trophy matter?
Third without a trophy.
What about what about second without trophy again?
No,
There's circumstances.
Ooh, like when did you go out of the cups?
Like I said, we might need to do maths at the end of the season. With a pro or con, we might need to do maths.
Is Arteta going to win one of the big ones?
What happened to Turkish? What happened to him? As Flex said, I think that's the most disappointing thing, is that he used to be the rational Arsenal fan, and he's been spending too long around the people that are on the hopium and the copium. I think he's got a contact high. Ridiculous. Oh, and again, the best thing is that was filmed before we beat them. and beat them twice in one day. Ridiculous. I mean, they're embarrassing, really, aren't they? But it's difficult, isn't it? Because obviously, I understand what people were saying after that Arsenal game. They're going, "Oh, you're reveling in it too much, and it's only pre-season. It doesn't matter." And this were United fans saying it, and then there were other fans saying, "Nah, if you win a game, take the mick out of the Arsenal fans." The key thing is we have them as our second away game of the season at the Emirates, and I know which game I'd much rather win, no doubt about it. So you don't want to go too big, but if you win a game, you see what happens. But as I've said with Arsenal, even if they do beat us at the Emirates when we play them in that second away game in the Premier League, you would think that it was them that won the treble last season, not Manchester City. The way they talk, you would think that Arteta won a treble out of nowhere and all this kind of stuff. The amount of time we're really good, you don't understand. You don't get it. No, I think we do. And again, when it comes to people like Declan Rice, we really do get it in terms of when you spend big money on one player, the expectation is super high. It's just, oh, wow. Turkish has changed. Absolutely changed. Super chat here that went in just before the video played, actually. K-Flow says, been impressed with Alvaro Fernandez. Good test. Yeah, again, it's difficult to really point out, I think, the players that are really, really impressed in that United team, because there's been no real top standout. Like I said, I think Alvaro Fernandez has done well. He gets an assist for the goal. Other players, like I said, maybe Hannibal, although I do feel like he's maybe forcing it and maybe needs to try and utilise his teammates a little bit more. But at the same time, again, it's difficult. I think either way, regardless of the result, it's going to be a really big learning experience for some of these United players. And also, I mentioned football's cutthroat. Erik ten Hag's very, very ruthless. He might have a look at some of these players tonight, and some of these players will never play for Manchester United at a senior level anyway. And again, that's just the cold hard facts of youth football, academy football. It is ruthless. As someone that's gone through it, it is ruthless. They do not care, and it's just that's how it is. So for Erik ten Hag, he might be looking at a couple of these players this evening and go, maybe they're not it. Maybe they don't have much of a future. Some might be watching either at the ground or, in terms of on the television, and might be looking at making signings of them this summer too. So it's important on various levels for a lot of these United players. But I'd probably say Alvaro Fernandez, Hannibal, maybe they stood out the most. But I think at points they were just a bit naive in that half. Again, if you allow it to turn into a physical game, if you allow it to turn into somewhat of a League 2 fixture, you're going to lose. Because that's what Wrexham are used to. When they won the Vanarama National League last year, and obviously that's what the fourth tier of football, whatever it is, Premier League, Championship League, fifth tier, of football in England, and that's tough. Like that league, the fixture and the schedules are insane. You're playing twice a week, and again, it's not because the quality is a bit less. It's all about being physical. It's all about again physicality, long balls, set pieces. It's kind of a throwback to sort of old school English football. And if United, with these youngsters, with the lack of physicality, if they allow the game to turn into that, of course they're going to lose. Wrexham will score more goals if it comes to that. Look at the couple of goals. Basic, particularly that throw-in, long throw, flick on, tap in. That is football 101. Somewhere, Big Sam is smiling, going, "Oh, they're bringing it back." And if United again allow them to do that, then they'll lose. Absolutely. What else are we saying here in the chat? Gore, absolute bonk, says Gore good. I like Dan Gore, although I will say that I think he played better in the game against Lyon. But I do think he's got potential, which I think is why he's captain in the side as well. Kadeen says, big up Owen. Big up Kadeen, one of our members joining us. Mike says, you can see the gap between these kids and the first team. Also, they're missing Kobbie Mainoo. You can, absolutely you can. I remember I did a match view for the Youth Cup final. When was that? A couple of years ago? When was that? 2022? Ironically, it was the day of Erik ten Hag's last home game as the Ajax boss, because the guys were out in Amsterdam. That was it. KG, Flex, and Marcel were in Amsterdam. They went to watch the Ajax game, and I did the match view for the Youth Cup final. And when you watch those Youth Cup finals, if you ever happen to go watch the under-21s or the under-18 teams play, especially if you're just used to watching senior level men's Premier League football, and then you go and watch youth football, the drop-off is considerable, and again the physicality is considerable, and the ability to get around the pitch is vastly different, and that's kind of what you've really noticed in this game as well. Do want to talk a little bit about Johnny Evans too. Johnny Evans, of course, the senior player, didn't have the best first half. A couple of times got kind of rinsed. I mean, that injury again stems from a long ball that he didn't manage, and the goalkeeper came out. Speaking of the goalkeeper, I think I just saw something pop up saying that there was going to be a change in the goalkeeping department. We'll wait and see what's officially announced there. But if you haven't already clicked the like button, by the way, we did it! We did it! 148,000 subscribers. Big up to everyone that's subscribed so far this evening. Big up to everyone that subscribed recently as well. Load of people really enjoying the pre-season content. More to come, as I mentioned, we'll be live tomorrow at 1 o'clock for a 1:30 kickoff. Manchester United versus Royal Madrid in Houston, Texas. We'll be back in the Asylum. Stay tuned later on this evening as well, later on this morning, afternoon, wherever you are. There's going to be fan views, interviews, etc. Reaction from the Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego, California as well, from Flex and KG. So there's plenty of more content to come. I'm not sure what Phil Parkinson's whinging about. Oh, here we go. The United players are coming back out onto the pitch. Erik ten Hag's following them. Get Erik on the pitch. Get Erik to play. I'm not sure what Phil Parkinson's moaning about. There's some people saying Vitek's going to be playing in goal, but that might be about it. See, Herrera was the goal scorer. Oh, there's a cup. All right, so Bishop's definitely off. So we got to change that. Vitek's in. So it's not like the normal pit stop I've had to do recently. I'll have to do that tomorrow. You know me. Formula 1 pit stop style. Change as many players as possible. It's always a challenge. So one change. Goalkeeper swapped. Of course, Bishop was on a booking. Vitek looks a bit more of a physical unit, doesn't he? Just waiting for kickoff now. Amarof's second half is underway at the Snapdragon Stadium. At the moment, Manchester United 1, Wrexham 2. Oh, the sirens. The sirens at 4:40. Get the sirens in the chat, obviously. It wouldn't be an Asylum stream without them. K-Flow with a super chat says, Vitek in goal. Bishop made a lot of friends here. Yeah, I mentioned that in the first half. I thought people were booing Bishop because he was the one that injured the player. That's not his fault. It's football. 50-50 tackle. Keeper comes out. The attacking player doesn't drop away. That's football. It happens. Here is Vitek, though, on the ball. But there are people still booing Vitek in goal. It's not the same player. You stupid idiots. They're booing Vitek. It's not even Bishop anymore. Your boos are wrong. Mistaken identity. You fools. Oh dear. Imagine that. He turned around and be like 50 Cent. What do you say F me for? It wasn't even me. Is Alvaro Fernandez. Fish gives it to Dan Gore. Oh, I attempted to go for Collier. Collier kind of wanted the ball to run. Dan Gore. Oof, that's nasty. That's nasty. He might be in trouble here. It's a red card. He's been sent off. Dan Gore's been sent off. And I tell you what, I thought it might be. I thought it might be straight away because I could see it in real time. His foot was up and I thought that's a nasty one, that. That is nasty. Red card for Dan Gore. I've got to press the button, I guess. He officially got hit with. My initial reaction straight away was it's a red card. Straight away. I haven't seen the replay yet, but my initial reaction was it was a red straight away. I thought he dived in and his foot was up. I'll have a look. That was my initial reaction. I'm happy to be wrong. Nah. It's not a red card. It's studs around. It's not a red card. My initial reaction was he dove in. Nah. It's not a red card. Never, ever, ever. No. It's not that bad. Again, in real time, it looked bad, but when you see it back, it's not bad. That's harsh. My initial reaction was, oh, that's a red, because he goes in with, he goes in with his foot up like that, but he pulls out. It's not a red, particularly in a pre-season game as well. It's a booking at most. And frankly, the referees killed the game there because, you know, United were struggling with the physicality of this side anyway. And now, free kick, Wrexham try to go fast. But United are now down to 10 men. Where's VAR when you need it, eh? Red card. That's a shame. Dan Gore was playing really well there. Now what do? Do I take him off the thing? I guess I do. Here come Wrexham on the attack. Ball stays in. Don't get me wrong. I can understand why in real time, with one look at it, the ref maybe thinks it's a red. But he's much closer to it than we are. But it's not a red card. It's not a red card at all. And for, you know, for some of these referees, I don't know if these guys ref in the MLS, whatever, but so far, like the referee at the MetLife Stadium at the weekend was terrible, absolutely awful. One of the worst decisions I've ever seen is Casemiro get given a handball for the ball hitting him in the face, and then given a card for that. Which again, initial reaction was it looked bad, but then when you see the replay, you realise it's not bad at all. Not a red. Captains the side as well, Dan Gore, and now off the pitch. Ref gives another foul, of course. What are they shoving? Like, get out of here, Wrexham, man. You're playing against a bunch of kids and you're shoving them around. Get a grip. I mean, it must be fair to say, I think the referee has not got control of this game at all, which is surprising considering it's Man United academy players versus Wrexham. And if you're struggling with the weight of this game, of all games, a pre-season friendly between not even United's first team and aside from League Two, and you're struggling with the magnitude of it and struggling with the occasion, the referee might not be for you, my friend. Here come Wrexham on the attack. Tries to force the ball through. Fernandez. Hansen now tries to play a 1-2, gives the ball away. that is a foul by Alvaro Fernandez. What is this referee doing? He's booked Alvaro Fernandez for getting involved in a little bit of afters, maybe kicking the ball away. This is a friendly, by the way, ref. You've sent someone off. Now you've booked a defender for nothing in a friendly. This ref is taking the absolute piss. Again, it's a friendly, ref. With Man United's academy players versus a League Two side, and you've now suddenly decided you're going to be, I don't know, this referee centre of attention giving cards around. Get a grip. He's completely lost control of it. Ball in the box. Johnny Evans wins the header. Wins the second as well. I tell you what, this ref's got a lot to answer for, hasn't he? Absolutely. At this rate, Hannibal definitely gets sent off. With this referee, he's decided that he's going to be this card happy. Who does he think he is? Howard Webb in the World Cup final in 2010. That's what he's decided to do. In a friendly, of all things. Shortire. Oh, Hugo doesn't even realise where the ball is. Long ball up the pitch. Fish wins the header. I tell you what, if United could nick a draw in this would be beautiful. You've got with the way the referee's moving, you've got to really take a proper us versus them mentality, I think, and not get too focused on the physical side of it. Because again, this is what Wrexham wants. They want you to be physical. They want you to turn it into a physical battle, which again you'll lose. Man United throw-in. My goodness me. I still can't believe what the referee's doing in this game. Oh. Again, my initial reaction was like, oh, it looked bad. But at the same time, remember the context of the game. Pre-season friendly. Because even sometimes in pre-season friendlies, what they'll do, refs, to not ruin the game, they'll sometimes say to the manager on the touchline, they'll say, look, I don't want to red card him. Take the player off. Like, take him off, and then you can keep 11 on the pitch. Because again, that's wise refereeing. That's being smart and knowing that you're in a pre-season friendly. As opposed to get off the pitch. And then booking Fernandes a minute later for kicking the ball away. Cross in the box. Hans Naran, I'm not sure what you're doing there, mate. Ball back in. Collier, not a good header at all, and just over the bar. This United team as well is really bad in the air. Really bad in the air. A couple of crosses into the box. They haven't won the headers at all, which is where Wrexham have been dominating. I mean, you look at here. It's really sloppy. Hansen Aaron flicks a leg at it. Again, the ball comes back in. Collier, really poor header. Mistimes his header. Stuff like that. That's where I think, Ten Hag and the under-21 staff would have a look at that and go, that's basic. You need to be better with stuff like that. That is very, very basic. There, Fernandes, poor touch. Particularly now, you've got 10 men. Now it's really important. Keep the ball properly. Manage the ball. Stay in possession. Don't be sloppy. Hannibal travels with the ball. That's a free kick. Does really well there. And Hannibal, look, rightfully so, gets back to his feet and has a go at the ref because he's saying, you're booking Alvaro Fernandes for kicking the ball away. If you'd suddenly got this card happy, realistically...
So where's the card then? Where's the card?
Because if you're going to book us for no reason, then at least book him there for doing a cynical foul. But of course he won't. Fish. Hannibal. Hansen Aaron. Oh, it's terrible. That's a bad pass. Hansen Aaron's done a good. Well done. Great tackle. Was that by Collier? Wins the ball back high up the pitch. Hansen Aaron's put a couple of really wayward passes last few minutes. Here's Shortire. Fish once again. Gerardo. That's a good pass. Better to Johnny Evans. Fernandes. Hugo. Collier. See, this is better. If you've got 10 men, just keep the ball. Keep possession. Allow the opposition to do the running for you. Johnny Evans, pass to Hansen Aaron. Good turn. Travels with it. But again, poor pass. He's done that a couple of times there. You can tell there's a player in there with Hansen Aaron. Like, he's got good movement, good turn, and then his pass has just been... That's 3 or 4 now in the case of the last 5 minutes. That's just been off. Cut out by Shortire. Handball? Nah, of course the ref won't give it. Of course the ref won't give it.
Bullshit.
Johnny Evans wins the header. And here come Wrexham on the counter-attack. Ball in the box, across. Fish manages to cut it out. Ball in. Oh, Fernandez just about deals with it. Just missed the Wrexham head. If you haven't already, be sure to click the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well, bottom right-hand corner. Nearly 58 minutes gone. Man United 1, Wrexham 2. United down to 10 men. Dan Gore being sent off a straight red card right at the beginning of the half. Really bizarre refereeing performance, must be said. Maybe it's him trying to even it up from the first half. Maybe he felt that he should have sent off Bishop. I don't know. But decided like he forgot what game he was refereeing. And started to start dishing out cards. Mendy, ball in. Good claim from Vitek. Now looking just to slow the game down a little bit, which is the right move. I mean, realistically, actually, I should probably change this because it's more like this, isn't it? Free kick to United. A rare free kick from this ref. I think we might be about to see some substitution, maybe. Oh, here we go. So, Collier's off. And Hanson Aaron's off. Our Joffrey's on. And Oyedeli's on. And that's another foul. Another foul on Hannibal. He's going to get furious in a minute. He's rightfully so. Eventually, he's going to sit up and say, guys, like, how many times have I been fouled in this game? Still no yellow card as well. Johnny Evans standing over the free kick, though. Gives it to Hannibal. Shortire. Gerardo. And you just need to keep the ball. Keep the ball. Keep it ticking over. And then hope you get a bit of an opportunity. Puts the ball out to Alvaro Fernandez. Here's Johnny Evans. Stella says Hanson off. He's not been great. Yeah, I agree with that. I've been a bit disappointed with his performance. Here's Fish. Ball into the box. Good cross. Fernandez. Oh. He was coming in at the back post and he just gets a bit of a shove. It was actually a good cross by Fish. But 60 minutes gone, still 2-1. United doing what they can. And it's a throw into United. United still, in fairness, still sticking around in this game. It was actually a good cross in from Fish too. Oyedeli. Here's Johnny Evans to Fish once again. Oh, Oyedeli, the ball gets stuck under his feet. And here come Wrexham on the counter-attack. Surprisingly, Wrexham actually playing on the counter-attack a bit. Fernandez wins the ball back. Well done. Oof. And even that, again, was nasty. And Mendy on that, on United's right-hand side actually looks quite good for Wrexham. If you haven't already, remember to click the like button. We're nearly at 350. Let's see if we can get to 400 No, it's not the most entertaining game. It's not got the superstars on it. But you know us, pre-season, we're all over it here at United View. We'll be live again tomorrow for Real Madrid versus Manchester United as well. Gerardo tried to win a throw and didn't work out for him. Hannibal wins the ball back again. That's again, how often is Hannibal going to be booked? Hannibal gets back up, and rightfully so. He's furious, and I don't blame him. What's he saying? This referee is an absolute joke. He is a joke. Hannibal gets up and he goes, how many times am I going to be fouled? And the referee counts him. He goes, 1, 2, 3, no more. No more? He's been fouled like 3 or 4 times. I mean, he counts 3. It's been way more than that. This ref, honestly, ridiculous refereeing performance. What more does Hannibal need to do? He's absolutely right to go up and look at the ref and say, like, seriously? You're not going to do anything? My word. And fair play to Hannibal too, because he's all over the pitch. He's picking the ball up in deep areas, trying to travel with it, trying to progress the ball up the pitch. And every time he gets cut down. And the referee refuses to book anyone. And yet, with Alvaro Fernandez, a bit of afters, he books him. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But again, use it. The United players need to use it. Us against the world mentality. The referee's trying to screw us. It doesn't matter. Good turn by Oyedele. Fernandez on the left. Inverted. Where are you going to go? Oyedele once more. Oyedele, Hannibal. I bet he's just waiting to get fouled again. Johnny Evans. I think also as well, actually, even with 10 men, I think they've been better in the second half, United. I think they've been... He's been fouled again. How many times, referee? How many times? Right now, the referee's going to book him. Ridiculous.
So where's the card then? Where's the card?
It only took like 4 or 5 fouls on one player. Clever turn. It's just clear foul as well. I mean, clear foul. I mean, he's drawing the fouls. Hannibal knows what he's doing. Keep doing it. Get someone sent off. Hannibal. Good pass out to the right-hand side. Gerardo. Gives it back to Hannibal. He looks the most likely to make anything happen. Hannibal. Good pass to Alvaro Fernandez. Oh, he's offside. Flag is up. Real Killer says, who's the captain? I don't know. Courtesy that was a team foul rather than because of the player committed. Yeah, I thought that too with the ref. He booked the player where realistically that might have been the player's first foul. You know what I mean? Here's Mendy for Wrexham. Looks like more United subs are coming on. Hip Hop Geek says Johnny Evans is captain, I think. Would make sense, wouldn't it? But Wrexham with a rare bit of possession in the second half. United have had the majority of the ball. Again, the new keeper, which isn't Ben Foster, it's another goalkeeper for Wrexham, hasn't had to make any saves. Hannibal nearly won the ball back. Here come Wrexham on the attack once again. Cuts inside, outside. Edge of the box. Ball in. Oh, Johnny Evans clears. Are they giving a corner? He checks the shoulder. The ball came in. cannoned off Johnny Evans' foot, actually, there as well. Corner to Wrexham. It hasn't been the best game for Johnny Evans, it must be said. He's looked quite suspect at times, to be honest. Ball in. Keeper came into no man's land. I thought he was held back, though. Vitek's actually furious with the referee, saying he was pulled back. I thought he was as well. He came out and was in no man's land, but it did look like he was pulled back a bit. Let's have a look at this. Oh, yeah, he's clearly fouled. The keeper is clearly pulled back. I mean, I'm not sure he was going to get there anyway. He was in no man's land, but he was clearly being pulled back. Of course, the referee missed it, because he's terrible. So Bahia and McNeil are on. For who? They haven't said. McNeil and someone else to come on, but still, we don't know for who. Oh, that's a heavy tackle. Here come Wrexham on the counter-attack. Oh, plenty of space. It's Mendy. Ball in. Goalkeeper's in no man's land. 3-1. Wrexham 3-1 up. Simple ball. I mean, 10 men, it's going to happen. 3-1. Estobi. I think maybe Vitek, he shouldn't have committed himself too much. He came out for it. Wasn't the right thing to do. But Wrexham 3-1 against 10-man Manchester United. Utilised the extra man. I mentioned that. I thought Mendy actually looked really good for Wrexham. And he gets an assist. Just look, he's got so much space on United's right-hand side. Puts the ball into the box. No one's tracking. Again, it's really poor defending. Really, really poor. The substitute's just on. Look at Johnny Evans. He's looking at him going, how did you not know the player was there? Yeah, it's poor. It's poor from everyone involved. I'm not sure where the goalkeeper is. He's in no man's land. I'm not sure what the right-back's doing too. It was just bad. But yeah, not good defending and not good goalkeeping either. Did anyone see what those substitutions were? Because I want to change the team, but I still can't tell who the subs were. McNeil and Major for Hugel and Short-Terry. So McNeil on, and who for? Major for Short-Terry. There you go. Kind of just bizarre that they didn't actually announce it at all. But again, another very poor goal to concede by Manchester United, which has kind of been par for the course in this game, really. Poor goals conceded, poor goalkeeping, poor defending, no communication, and a lot of naivety, and a lot of inexperience. Coach, I mean, the ball in the box is going to happen. You're going to get overloaded because you're down to 10 men. But not being able to manage that ball in the box, I think that's the most disappointing thing. Liam Jones says, well done, he's 13. Neville Southall, yeah. Not sure if for Wrexham it would be worth celebrating that much. Not only have they beaten United youngsters, but they've beaten United youngsters who are down to 10 men as well. And it's a shame because you did feel like with United scoring that goal just before half-time, coming back out there, it'd have been a really even and competitive game. And then once you have a red card after like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it kind of kills the game off, let's be honest. And I thought the ref was... I think the referee in this game has been appalling, really. And it's not even like a bitter United fan. It's because it's pre-season, who cares? But you have to call out a poor refereeing performance when you see it. Obviously, I would say in the first half, Wrexham deserved to be to have their lead. And I think they were just smarter because, you know, you've got, again, boys against men. And the physicality was too much. Although, like I said, I think Mendy for Wrexham's been really good. Yeah, don't give a... I thought that might have been a foul by McNeil, but referee says no. It's Hannibal. Big up Just Josh in the chat. Just Josh Media. Graphics Guru, Visual Ninja. Fastest man in the West. Fastest man in the West Coast. Hannibal. Oyedele. Ball given away. Now, it is a shame. I think it's a shame because I do think the ref ruined the game. And that's not to say that United would have definitely won it or they would have got back into it. Because you did feel like just with, again, with Wrexham's physicality and set pieces and long balls, they'd still had chances. But you never know. And it's a friendly as well. Which, again, is a shame. But either way, you know, it's good for the players to have this kind of experience, learn from it. That's offside. Johnny Evans looks like he's going to be coming off. And Campuala is going to be coming on. So Johnny Evans is off. Campuala comes on. "73 minutes gone. Wrexham 3, Manchester United 1. Manchester United travel up the pitch. Good turn. Still travelling. That's a good tackle by the Wrexham player. Firm tackle, but a good one. Don't mind with that. That's a terrible throw in by Fernandes. Might have been a foul throw. Oyedele. I tell you what, since he's come on, I think he's done really well. I think he was quite unfortunate not to start. I think he looks really composed on the ball. Some good touches, some good passes. Looks really mobile too. I think there might be a bit of a player in there for Oyedele. Again, whether or not he'll ever play for Manchester United is one thing, but I think he's done okay so far. But like we spoke about earlier on, you can tell the difference in players like Hannibal and Fernandes just that have had a full season of playing senior football. The difference that can make and the experience that gives you is just invaluable. Oyedele once again. It gives him a bad pass though. Fernandes can't do anything with that, and Wrexham win the ball back. Oyedele wins the ball back though. Well played. Well done. Oh, loses it though in the end. Oh, and they keep going. He's going to be onside here. Wrexham are in behind. Ball across, goal. Oh, luckily for United, it wasn't the best ball across. Here you go, edge of the box. Hannibal cuts it out. Charlie McNeil wins a foul. 15 minutes remain. It doesn't look like we're going to be going to penalties for this one. Oyedele was a really good tackle, actually. Again, he's looked all right since coming on. I think he's done okay. Maybe a bit, again, unfortunate not to start, perhaps. Jay Bruce says, Owen, would you rather see Hannibal at Luton or Leicester City? Personally, I'd rather see him at a top championship club as opposed to a bottom Premier League team that will probably get relegated. Well, if he was to play every week, I think playing in the Premier League is invaluable, isn't it? I understand your point that at Leicester, the expectation is that they'll win every game, but you never know with the Championship. It doesn't really... Good ball by Fernandes. Really good ball. Oh, just headed away. So many times you see those teams that get relegated from the Premier League that you expect to do well, they don't do well, so it's certainly not a given. You would think it is for Leicester, but it won't be a given. Even if he does lose every week in the Premier League, it's still Premier League teams, and you can't beat that experience and you can't beat that physicality. So I'd still probably want him to go to Luton, even though, like I said, losing every week. But I still do think that would be better for his development, just in terms of the competition that he would face every single week. Again, you can't beat that level of experience. Throw in. Here's Hannibal. Big up Steph. Says she's tapping out and was also like an emoji. That's Josh. Josh is the emoji maker. The king or queen maker when it comes to the emojis. But 13 minutes remain in this one. Wrexham 3-1 up. United down to 10 men. Wonder what Erik ten Hag makes of this. Sitting on the bench, watching along. I think he would definitely learn with some of these players that, you know, there's there. And again, it sounds really, really harsh to say they're never going to make it, but it's true, isn't it? You know, some of them just aren't. But again, that is the cold, hard life of youth football, academy football. That's just, unfortunately, that's just how it works. Some people make it, some people don't. And when you do have opportunities a bit like this, you've got to try and take it. You've got to try and take your opportunities. Hope, you know, that the ref doesn't completely kill it for you, which has kind of happened in this one, unfortunately. But I think a couple of the United players can hold their heads up high, put in decent performances. Again, certainly it's been a bit unfortunate. And again, it would have been really interesting to see, wouldn't it? If it would have been interesting to see. Oh, they're in here. Oof. Vitek just about deals with that. Comes out, spreads himself, and prevents the goal from going in. It's funny because, again, you'll see people like this MXMD says 3-1 to a non-league side, and we'll just ignore the facts, which is that it's our academy team and it's down to 10 men. I think we've got a good out on this one. It's not like Arsenal, who played their starting 11 and lost, their strongest starting 11, and lost to us when we didn't have our goalkeeper or a striker in the side. And then also says, when Seven Hag doesn't play kamikaze football, he's got no clue. It's not even Erik ten Hag managing the side. Your facts are wrong. Ha 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 ha. Down to 10 men, academy players, and it's not even Erik ten Hag managing it. But don't let the facts get in the way of a good troll, my friend. You're doing very well. Vitek stands over the free kick. He was fouled at a corner. Vitek goes long. He was aiming for Fernandez. He fizzed at him. To be fair, though, I mean, I think how committed to the troll. I almost rate it. You know what I mean? 5-15. 5-15 to troll the kids. Go home. You know, that's what I would say. Go home. That clip of, was it Jim Ross? Go to bed. Here's Hannibal. And a free kick to United. Hannibal fouled again, by the way. How many times? That was the foul early on, wasn't it? Bishop. For Paul Merlin. Ball up the pitch, long ball, trying to do Wrexham at their own game here. He was aiming for the striker, couldn't find him. Less than 10 minutes remain. Been a bit of a strange one. Again, I think the quality will be significantly different from this game to Real Madrid. Caramore says, only way we live this down is by beating Madrid tomorrow. The trolls will make it seem like Bruno, Casemiro, Onana, etc. played. I don't think so. In terms of that's the way we live it down. I think anyone, it's not embarrassing. It's, you know, as I mentioned earlier on, a lot of these players, it's an evenly matched game. A lot of these players, maybe bar the likes of Hannibal, etc., if they were to get loaned out this season, they'd go to a League Two club. They'd go to a club the size of Wrexham. You know, Alvaro Fernandez was at League One last season. A lot of these players, if they got loaned out, some of them might not even go to League Two sides. So it's a fairly even game. It got ruined by the referee, certainly, because he did the red card. But I don't think we'd have to beat Real Madrid to make up for this or anything like that. You know, it's academy players playing senior level players. And I think it's a good reminder to fans, certainly, that sometimes when we say just put the kids in, there's a massive difference between academy football and senior football, even at a League Two level, at the bottom of the football pyramid in terms of league football, which is League Two. There's a massive difference. And why it's also important to get loan spells and get experiences for these young players too. Alvaro's in the Championship, excuse me, yes, he was. I forgot that Preston got promoted a couple of years ago, whenever it was. Oh, Vitek again. I tell you what, Vitek's done that 2 or 3 times in this match. I mean, once or twice he was fouled, but he properly flaps at the crosses. The spirit of De Gea. For a big guy, Vitek just flaps around. I think Hannibal's, from United's point of view, has been the best player on the pitch. He does look a cut above these players. I was somewhat surprised to see him involved with this team, honestly. But even after the red card, he's kind of taken it upon himself to get more involved, try and make things happen, get around the pitch as much as possible. Oof. I tell you what, the centre-back hasn't anticipated that at all. Wrexham work it into the box, and Alvaro Fernandez clears it. Jaskarat says, Owen trying to stay awake. I'm okay. I've had a cup of coffee. It's not been the most entertaining game or anything like that, but like I said, when you've been watching the grapples, watching wrestling for your whole life, 520 streams. I mean, I've done later streams for wrestling events that start at like 11 o'clock at night and go to like 6 o'clock. It's nuts. Absolutely crazy. This was no problem. It's a shame the red card. The game was quite nicely set up, actually, with United getting that late goal in the first half, and it was interesting to see if United would react, and then they get a red card. It kind of kills the game off, certainly, doesn't it? And if you haven't already, click the like button. 25 likes away from 400. So if you haven't already, click the like button. See if the ratio. We've got a streaker. We've got a streaker on the pitch. A streaker's on the pitch, and he's going up to Wrexham players. They're not particularly. Oh, and they went to tackle him, and he missed. Maybe the most entertaining thing that happened in the second half. You know the game's bad when you've got to get a streaker to entertain things. And look at Hannibal giving out water. A leader. Well, look, either way, it's going to be a good experience for some of these players. I think Hannibal's future is really interesting. I think, again, there had been rumours he was going to leave on a permanent deal. It might be a loan again. I do think there's a player in there. Maybe not good enough to play for United, possibly. Either way, I would hope that when United, if they do sell him, again, there were rumours about possibly selling him to Dortmund, that there would be some kind of a buyback clause or a sell-on clause or something like that. Because you do see there is a potential maybe. There's a potential maybe for him to turn into something. I mean, let me know in the live chat. Would you sell him or would you loan him? Could he be good enough to play for United? Or are you open to selling him as long as there are clauses to possibly get him back in the future? Even if it's to do a Real Madrid thing. Remember Real Madrid, they've done this a couple of times. They'll sell a player, have a buyback clause, he'll have a couple of good seasons, they'll buy him back, and then they'll just sell him again, but for loads of money. Harron says loan, cool, but no Sal. James says loan. De Niro says loan. But less than 3 minutes remain. Dean says loan. Afra says loan for Hannibal. Lots of people are saying loan only. Trini Red Devil says, Owen, these kids are terrible. No disrespect. I think it's very harsh. You know, I think some of them, just in general, I think sometimes fans have to temper their expectations when it comes to youth players. A lot of academy players won't make it. And you look at, you know, a lot of academies, Mendy, he looks brilliant. Oh, Vitek does well in the end. You look at a lot of academies, they won't be filled with players that will make it to the first team. You know, some academies obviously better than others. City got a great academy at the moment. Chelsea historically have had a good academy, but a lot of academy players aren't good enough. And it's just because you don't see it all the time. Because again, a lot of them don't get given opportunities. But when you have games like this, you'll realise, oh, maybe they're not. Again, maybe they're not going to make it, and maybe they're not going to be good enough. Again, I don't think it's a fair shake, particularly in the second half, to say that, oh, they're terrible because they lost against, you know, 11 men of a League Two side. And usually, again, it's only one or two that's ever going to make it. Even when I say make it, I mean at a decent level that even isn't United. Chris says sell to Dortmund, but have first refusal / buyback clause. Hannibal's down. He was clutching his calf. Hopefully he's okay. Might be a little bit of cramp or something like that. Looks to be okay. So we're entering the 90th minute. Referee still holding the ball. I'm not sure what he's doing. There you go. Wrexham still have the ball. And the game's kind of petered out, which again is a bit frustrating. Santiago says, I think settle with buyback clause to a less physical league like the Bundesliga. Oh, United moving forward here. Oof, the Wrexham player just collided with his own keeper. Hannibal down again, obviously. Zayn Miyasi is in the chat with a super sticker, which is the dancing guy. Zayn Miyasi's shameless, man. Imagine celebrating that. I remember Zayn, the last time I saw Zayn was before the Arsenal game where he said we wouldn't get past Gabriel and Saliba, and then we did in a half. Shy Havertz, not Shy Zayn. How much injury time have we got in this one? I'm not sure. Long ball over the top, headed away. The interesting one really is tomorrow's game against Real Madrid. That's really the one. I think if you get, you know, outplayed by Real Madrid, then you can have real conversations, can't you? And say, wow, that's the first team and the starting 11. And there you go. It's game over. Manchester United defeated 3-1 by Wrexham. Manchester United's youngsters, it must be said. They're under 23s. Defeated against Wrexham. Unfortunate that, you know, I felt the referee in the second half kind of killed the game, ruined the game. Obviously at half-time it was 2-1. Wrexham went 2-0 up. United pulled a goal back. with Gerardo just before half-time, and then there was a lot of interest to see if United could get back into the game, possibly turn it around in the second half, and then unfortunately Dan Gore gets sent off really early on in the second half, and then the game kind of petered out. Eventually Wrexham get a third goal, as you would expect, and then it became just again a bit of a formality. So a bit of a strange one, a bit of a reality check for maybe some of these youngsters as well, and maybe a bit of a reality check, as I mentioned, for some of the fans regarding some of the youngsters too. Nevertheless, it'll be a good experience for them playing at a big stadium in a different country on a big occasion, certainly for them. And either way, it's always any pre-season game, it's minutes, and it's always a good learning experience as well. Again, it certainly wasn't, I think maybe people were a bit excited coming off the back of that Arsenal game the other day, and we're expecting a similar atmosphere, but it wasn't going to be a similar performance because it wasn't the same group of players. And I think it's a reminder just how difficult academy football is and how cutthroat it can be, that the majority of players that are in these academies probably won't ever see first team appearances or first team minutes, and if they are good enough, they're already sort of floating around the first team anyway, i.e. like Kobbie Mainoo. If they're good enough, they're there anyway. These are players very much on the periphery, and players that again probably will never play for United at a senior level, and some players in there like a Hannibal are really weighing up their future at the moment as well, looking at it from a point of view of, you know, do I go out on loan? Am I going to be sold? What's going to happen there? I will say, though, again, for a pre-season friendly, I do think the referee had an absolute stinker, an absolute shocker. And I think he really ruined the game. I think he really ruined what could have been an even more productive game, not only for United, but also for Wrexham. Because I think from Wrexham's point of view, they would want to test themselves. And it really wasn't a test in the second half, was it? And I'm not sure it really gives them much of a barometer to compare things against, because again they were not only playing against kids, but they're playing against 10 of them. They weren't even playing against 11. You know, it wasn't even fair from that aspect. And I thought again he just had a really terrible game, honestly, which again is really really unfortunate. So there you go. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, guys. We are only 8 likes away from 400 likes. How many subscribers are we? We did get over 148,000 subscribers. Look at that, 148,020. So big up everyone that has subscribed. If you haven't already, be sure to do so. Bottom right hand corner, click the notification bell. As I mentioned, plenty of content on the horizon. Obviously, there's going to be full reactions after the game. There's going to be reactions from Flex, KG at Snapdragon Stadium. Hopefully, they'll be able to chat with a couple of the players as well. Maybe a couple of the fans. There's also going to be a preview of the next game, which is the big one, Real Madrid versus Manchester United from Houston, Texas. So that's going to be coming too. If there's any more transfer news too, we'll be covering that over the next 24 hours. There's not going to be, as mentioned, a 9 a.m. show because that's in 3.5 hours, and we're going to still have content going up over the next 3.5 hours, so it's a bit redundant. Of course, as I mentioned, if there's any big breaking news, we'll have it covered tomorrow. So we've got all bases covered as well. But how is everyone feeling at the moment? People are saying, Robert says I feel a bit flat. Jay says ref killed the game. Terrible decision, and that's a fact. Foot under the opposition's would never be a red card. Harron says one more point to keep in mind. Onana will get Martial to act properly at front. Clip that. Wow. Hopefully tomorrow again we are going to see. Well, I keep saying it is tomorrow. We're going to see Andre Onana make his Man United debut. I'm really excited for that. Again, bit of damp squib. I wouldn't read too much into this one as for Manchester United's pre-season. Technically, it counts as a defeat. You know, it is Man United, but certainly wasn't the first team as well. So, as I mentioned, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to click that like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in. I know it was a very, very late one, but you know we've got a global community here. We're all over the world, and people tuning in. It might be for some people actually the first time they can tune into a live at a decent time for them. It's not going to be as late tomorrow. We're going to have a 1:30 kickoff in Texas, so I'm going to be live at 1 o'clock for Real Madrid versus Manchester United, and then we're going to have the same thing. We're going to have full match view settings in the Asylum. We're going to have full fan views, player interviews, you name it, we're going to be covering it. So there you go. As I mentioned, guys, be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. More content on the horizon. Stick around for that. And first defeat of pre-season. We're on to the next one. Peace.